I'm feeling really insecure about this. I don't know what to say. I was driving over here and I was like, people were looking at me like I was insane. Like the proximity to Halloween should tip people off that I don't dress like this all the time. I'm your host, Rebecca Hargraves. This is The Backlash. Hello, Dave Riley.
Hello. How are you doing today, Rebecca? You like the costume?
I do.
I think it's pretty
We were
good.
planning our Halloween costumes and we're like, Cameron, you don't have to do this because you're just too serious. And I think it would ruin your mystique if anybody saw you in a costume.
Are you serious? You don't dress like that all the time?
I do.
I was convinced you did.
I know, right? But people were just looking at me when I was driving over here like, what the? I'm like, figure it out. It's Halloween in 2 days, retards.
This is the
maybe
Backlash.
their mind was wandering
I
into a
said that.
different thought.
What?
Maybe their mind was wandering into a different thought.
Naughty.
THOT.
THOT indeed. You can find us on X at Real Backlash, our website, thebacklash.net. Support us on subscribestar.com/thebacklash, patreon.com/thebacklash. Send your super chats that will be read live at the end of our show to thebacklash.net/superchat, or right here on my YouTube channel. That is Rebecca Hargraves, Blonde of the Belly of the Beast, or on our YouTube channel at Real Backlash. We are taking super chats in both of those locations as well. Find us on Rumble.
We're taking Rumble rants on Rumble as well. We always have been, always will be.
Sweet.
But just another way you can help support the show.
It's Backlash Podcast.
You can find us on all of our platforms. On the website at thebacklash.net/subscribe. We're everywhere.
Please
We're on
follow us
TikTok.
on Instagram and TikTok. Those
Yeah.
accounts have like no followers. We're working on it though.
And we have a couple hundred. What are you talking about?
That's just
growing.
That's
We're
just
growing.
nothing. That's
See,
absolutely nothing.
The thing about this costume, I feel like, is mostly about the accessories. So I have to go over the accessories.
Okay, show us.
So I've got I'm wearing a wire, of course, right? Little wire. And then I've got the body cam. And then I've also got the standard issue Glock 19. This thing is like a tent. Holy crap. I don't even know if I want to wear it.
God, I hate the FBI.
I'm just gonna do this.
This is making me anxious.
It's because it's so loud too. It's like made out of tarp material.
Someone in the live chat just asked me if I'm Dolly Parton.
What?
Are you people? No, I am Marie Antoinette, the misunderstood queen. Marie
Saint?
Antoinette.
Oh,
Saint
I forgot.
Marie Antoinette.
I forgot the walkie-talkie to shut it down, just in case.
We did.
Yeah,
the
Marie
Halloween thing.
Antoinette is definitely. She's like a martyr.
Yeah.
She's a saint. I visited her grave in Paris a few years ago. It was very good.
Thank you to Atlas Bullion, premier dealers of gold and silver. We'll talk about them shortly. Thank you to North Idaho Tallow. That is skincare without endocrine disruptors. And Antelope Hill, the people that will publish literally anything.
We got the timing on that down.
We did,
That's
totally.
Good. Hey, we've got some fan mail.
Do we?
Yeah, we do. Figure we should go over this first. Here, you can look at that one first.
The Backlash. All right.
Coming
all right.
to our fans from Cleveland, Ohio. So thank you very much,
We
Mr.
got
Cleveland.
some money stapled in here.
Hell yeah. No. Okay. Oh, that works. How much? How many
Dear the
schmeckles
Backlash.
is it? 5,
$10
6,
are attached
7,
for the
8.
super chat. I sent small bills, so it'll be easier for you to split amongst yourselves. I'd send more super chats, but it seems like you've moved on to a different topic before you receive them. Did you see that Alex Jones is trying to get Nick Fuentes to try women?
Try whammon.
Whammon. It looks like Nick is considering the move. And then he wrote a link and a timestamp.
Oh, wow. Well, we'll take a look at that.
Dave mentioned he has dreamt about Nick. I hope this news doesn't impact Dave's sleep. I would like to know who is sending these
We have another one.
and how old he is.
Please keep sending them. You can send. Oh, no. Where did it go? I was going to say, you can send your IRL super chats to our P.O. box.
Oh, this is a lottery ticket. Wouldn't it be crazy if we won?
Where is the? Yeah, that would be.
Okay, while
amazing.
you look for it, Dear the Backlash, the jackpot for tonight's Mega Millions drawing is $680 million. If this ticket has the winning numbers, you may collect $150 million cash payments after taxes. At the moment, I suspect I'll be your largest donor. Don't worry, I won't start making additional demands. It looks like editorial.
That's good.
But maybe some of that money could pay for an audio engineer. Then I won't have to constantly be adjusting the volume.
What are you? Do I need to turn the compression on the whole thing up?
I
It's
love this
already
guy.
up. Anyway,
He's a snarky
you can
old
send your
bastard.
IRL super chats to P.O. Box 853, Post Falls, Idaho 83877. You can address it to The Backlash. And by the way, donations, they've been up. I mean, we need them to go up a little bit more, but ever since what happened on Monday, people came to our website and donated several $100s.
Let's talk about what happened on
Let's
Monday.
talk about it. Let's get into it, shall
So
we?
Dave, the famous shit stirrer.
I am very good at stirring shit.
Oh, okay, so we suspected
Stirring the
that
pot, stirring shit.
we suspected that something like this might happen. Now, the funny thing about this is that all these people that are responsible for this are acting like they dunked on us, but really they just played into our hand to get B-roll footage
Yes.
of us nearly getting arrested. And we got it. We got it. My hair looked amazing. I was wearing my best butt jeans. And now we've got B-roll footage of me mouthing off to police. And haha, you guys did that for us. Let's talk about it.
Let's watch it first. We have a little video clip roundup that we'll play from independent journalist here in North Idaho, Casey Whalen. We'll be going over everything he wrote in the Post. But first, let's pull this up and take a peek. Let me make sure that the sound is on point as it is. Let's go.
The Zionists have already. Oh, the cops are here now. Look at this.
They call the cops?
What happened? They
Nothing.
in here and
Nothing. Hi. Look at these people.
Oh, for heaven's sake. That cop was such an asshole.
Yeah.
The other ones I kind of felt bad for.
We had about 30 people come to our meetup, which was great. So we'll get into all this. We'll explain. There's your friendly DHS retired member. Dave Lou Cummings, former DHS.
The police
Oh yeah, pretty cool.
All the flyers and all the food trucks.
That's
Flyers for the 5 p.m. gathering.
That's not us.
no.
No.
We have no flyers. Don't think I can.
No. Who are you with?
I'm
They're
not
gathering.
answering any questions. I'm not answering any
You're
questions.
not answering any questions.
We really didn't have flyers.
No, we didn't do any flyers.
Okay, can I ask why you guys are gathering here?
Okay, and so this guy, by the way, William Lee, we'll talk about him in a minute, but he is a part of this Christian Zionist Church Candlelight Christian Fellowship who came in to get pictures of everybody that was there and then just walks off. So
He's an angry Asian. Did you see what I said on Twitter about him? I was so proud of myself.
not yet.
I said, is he going to Virginia Tech us now?
Oh,
It got a lot of likes. I was so proud.
very good.
Eat food, eat dinner.
What a douche.
Total douche.
Why are you here?
You got called in.
Okay.
By who?
Get some tacos. The burritos aren't bad.
Talk about it.
Good job, Willie. What a loser.
Well, it's private property, and the manager has asked everyone to leave the pavilion.
What?
Why?
That's where we're at. Because it's
I'm a
private
patron.
property, and they want you to leave. Everyone.
All right, let's go.
For what? They don't need a reason.
We're just
It's their property.
So we come here, we all order food and are eating and
So I'm just the messenger, sir. Okay? That's where we're at.
unbelievable.
I feel bad for this cop on the left, though.
Well, where do you guys
one?
want to go?
No. Is he fat?
That's an option.
I'll talk about your first. All right, have a good night.
So you guys can just kick out patrons?
Well, they
Again,
can
we're just
they can
messenger,
trespass.
Okay? The owner of the property wants you guys all to leave.
Did they say why?
Would you mind clarifying for us?
They don't need a
The
reason.
owner of the property is? No.
Then how do we know that you're not gonna like this?
Okay, well, I personally spoke with the owner of the property. I want everyone to leave. It's that simple. You guys all need to leave.
So you're gonna
Some guys can
So we have the ability to
hold on.
So the main reason is that you were promoting pizza and beer. There's no alcohol allowed in the pavilion.
There's no beer. There's no pizza.
Okay, I'm not gonna argue. You all need to leave.
So that's up for us to address.
Very simple. Okay?
We'll see you, mate.
All right. We'll see you.
Yeah.
All right.
Planning to take over.
This was the plan. Obviously. That's fine.
Look
We're
at
gonna
this.
find out who's doing it anyway.
He was taking pictures of our license plates.
Isn't that unreal?
Okay, so
So-
this was not a restaurant. We met at a collection of food trucks
A pavilion.
at a pavilion, right?
Right.
Which we thought would be fine because it's a normal place for public gathering.
It's where people go, they get food at places, food trucks, and then they eat. Now, the meetup had two purposes. It served two purposes. The first purpose, of course, was
To
for
shit
us to what?
Shitster.
Oh, well, yeah, to shit stir. That was definitely a purpose. But the first purpose was to get our people together, to hang out, get dinner, network with one another, have a good time. The secondary purpose was that a local candidate for office, Dan Gukin, this is him. Dan Gukin was supposed to be hosting a get-together, a candidate meet and greet that was organized by Candlelight Christian Fellowship's members, namely Stephanie Fetzer, Aaron Bernard, and so, right? We'll name some more names going up. But we all wanted to ask Dan some questions in addition to getting dinner, having fellowship with one another.
Can I say something about Lucky and Aaron Bernard?
Yeah, please.
So-
let me get a picture of them and put them up on the
These
screen.
people were friends of my old show. I've hung out with them. They've been around my family. And I find out that they are talking about how I'm an anti-Semite and all this stuff at Candlelight Church. And then I find out that Lucky is a federal informant, an actual federal informant. So I sent him a message and I was like, did you just befriend me so that you could pass information along to the FBI? And he had all a series of reasons. He took me to the Steven Crowder event like not that long ago.
Right.
Like these people will infiltrate, and I'm totally convinced now that
Yeah, here we go.
their entire purpose was just to get info on me.
These elderly fat women is who we're talking about.
That sucks. I really liked her. This
This was Aaron Bernard, She was a close friend of mine too. She used to invite me to her birthday get-togethers. We would listen to Mr. Bond.
Aw.
They loved Mr. Bond.
So I'm actually
They
sad
were
about
all
this
on
one.
board.
Yeah.
They were very helpful when I first moved up here. We all worked together in the alternative media space. And then over the course of time,
Oh, Lucky is a local tattoo artist.
Lucky's a local.
He owns Artful Dodger. Yeah.
Artful Dodger Tattoo Shop
So
in
do
Coeur
not
d'Alene.
go there.
Yeah, if you need tattoos. Well, first
Don't
of all,
get
don't get
tattoos.
tattoos.
Yeah.
They're satanic and awful and doesn't matter. But anyway, I say that as somebody that has tattoos. But so in the middle, in the red, is Aaron Bernard. On the right is Stephanie Fetzer. And these people have been ankle biting me and nagging us, spreading lies about us, doing all kinds of bad things for years, causing infighting, division in the local GOP and the local conservative movement. And, this was all after we'd all gotten together after COVID. We were all working together as one unified force. And then these people and their Zionist church have gone off with the North Idaho Republicans, with Dan Gukin, the pro-gay candidate for mayor that voted in 2013, 2014 to do it was like an ordinance about gay rights. And they forced the Hitching Post out of business. The Hitching Post sued the city then. And so anyway.
They forced the Hitching Post out of business?
Yeah. Is everyone okay? Uh-oh. I think the little one got a hold of the cast iron. He was fine. He'll be fine. Yeah, see, it's already over.
Oh my God. My BP right now is like 170 over 120.
It's okay. He's standing up now and like pulling on things. It's totally fine.
Okay, proceed. Let's get through this quickly.
Quickly, you're making me nervous over here. So anyway, the point was we were going to have a meetup. We were going to confront Dan Gukin. We were going to confront the Zionists that have been going around and lying about us. And so then
As is our right.
And they had a separate meeting
This
that
was the
scheduled,
Prairie Pavilion.
right? And so here's the fucking wall text that we get from Stephanie Fetzer explaining what went on. And she's right about a lot of this stuff. Of course, she calls me tippy toes, which is, I don't even get it.
Because you were standing on your tippy toes as a joke with that picture.
I know, but that's like one thing. I mean, like if you're going to call me something, you got to call me something that would actually denote who I am.
Yeah.
So that the people that read her feed think that she's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And so anyway, on today's Hate podcast, at the beginning of the segment, Tippy Toes reminded everybody about the community building meetup at 5 p.m. So at 4 o'clock, I announced a venue change. They had a meeting that went on at Mackenzie River Pizza with Dan Gukin and Scott Hogg. And by the way, their meeting over there sucked.
Yeah.
People showed up to that meeting to ask Dan the hard questions.
Oh, good, they
and
did.
Stephanie Fetzer and Aaron Bernard were freaking out at them so badly that they left after like an hour. So the disruption occurred anyway.
Yeah.
Because these people are not popular in the community.
Right.
Everybody hates them.
Yeah, of
Nobody likes them.
Yeah.
And so anyway, there's been this whole back and forth, but the whole thing is totally blown up.
Let's get to the flyers.
Right. And so what they did was they handed out flyers to the food trucks.
Where Vince is on these flyers. It's not even Cameron.
Vince isn't even on the show anymore. We've got a copy here that was graciously given to us by one of the food trucks. And the thing that's incredible about this is they gave them to the food trucks, and then the food trucks were handing them out to the patrons, saying, hey, be aware. There's like a group of people eating dinner that are like hateful and spiteful. So I'm going to read a little bit of this. And I'm probably going to do like a solo show about this whole incident because there's a lot of inside baseball, a lot of...
Your baby's okay.
I know. I trust in my family. So anyway, it says, the Backlash podcast has announced that it will be having a community meetup at Prairie Pavilion Monday, October 27th at 5 p.m., bringing their own pizza and beer, which, by the way, we didn't bring any pizza or beer. Sorry, assholes. Like, what? I don't understand how that was the problem. That's what the police said was the problem. That was their reason for kicking us out of the pavilion because we allegedly had pizza and beer, which we did not. And by the way, there's a pizza truck there and a beer garden.
Yeah.
So you can buy pizza and beer there, which is what I thought we were going to do. Anyway, continuing. Overview of the Backlash. The Backlash, a weekly podcast hosted by Rebecca Hargraves, known online as Blonde, Dave Riley, and Cameron McGregor. And here's where it starts getting fucked up.
Well,
Literally in
most of this
the
stuff
first
is
line.
true.
Well, no, it's not actually, which promotes a unified ideology.
No, we fight constantly.
We are constantly fighting with one another. I'm Catholic. Cameron is Protestant. Rebecca needs to go to confession. And so we don't have a unified ideology. The point is that we're hashing out a lot of different perspectives. The one thing that all of us have in common is that we aren't dispensationalist Christian Zionists. We don't support Israel unconditionally. That's the only thing that unifies, or one of the things, that plus we're all white. So anyway, so they say that we have a unified ideology centered on anti-Semitic conspiracy theories, hatred of Charlie Kirk, disillusionment with Donald Trump for allegedly serving Zionist interests, and intense misogyny that blames women's empowerment for societal decline.
That's somewhat true.
Now, we don't hate Charlie Kirk. I don't hate Charlie Kirk. And I'm the one of anybody on this program that actually confronted the guy face to face. The point is that Turning Point USA was not promoting Christian values.
Right.
They were bringing homosexuals in, putting them up on stage, and then saying that butt sex is okay in the conservative movement, that smoking weed is okay in the conservative movement.
Right. Yes, they were.
So it's not about hating Charlie Kirk. It was about trying to get TPUSA on track. Hello. Donald Trump for allegedly serving Zionist interests. He's literally the most Zionist president this country's ever had. And this group of people was at the Idaho Family Policy Center meeting in 2024 when they announced that on stage, and every one of them got up and clapped. So yes, he does serve Zionist interests. The show rejects a constitutional republic, instead pushing an ethno-nationalist monarchy agenda.
True.
And promotes I support a monarchy in France. I think you do too, Cameron, as well. But how are we going to get a monarchy in America?
I don't know, but it would be awesome.
I mean, it's not possible.
I don't understand why they're so
It's such
obsessed.
a LARP.
These Christian Zionists are obsessed with takes on monarchy, which seems...
Well, they hate Jesus. They hate God. They hate the king. They like have this ideology. Like it's
But
like they're like the Jacobins from the French Revolution.
But I've talked about erecting an ethno-nationalist, authoritarian, fascist government, and they're like, she mentioned monarchy one time. I'm like, why don't you take issue with the
erecting
with the fascist thing? I don't understand. This just seems really obscure, like an obscure complaint. Let's get through this. I don't think people care that much.
Really? Is the chat? The chat doesn't care. Monarchy agenda promotes having their followers get into politics by lying about what they believe until there's enough of them in power to make their true agenda come to life.
True.
No.
I 100% support that.
No. I mean, it's when we say hiding your power levels, that means that like you don't show up at your local fundraiser and start going off about the Jews or about
That's
Zionists
what Dave
or
thinks.
about
This
Israel.
is one of our disagreements. You should definitely lie.
Don't lie. No, you don't need to lie. That's the whole point. Well, and this is one of the things that I brought up on Twitter here. Let's see if I can pull it up fairly quickly. There was a woman named Nina Beasley. Nina Beasley was the volunteer coordinator for the Republican Party here in Kootenai County. She was a close friend of mine. She used to babysit my kids.
Good Lord.
And when I called her out as one of the people involved with this Zionist conspiracy to deprive us of our ability to have dinner, right? She's mentioned right here. She texted me and was like, I wasn't at that meeting. You need to make sure that blah, blah, blah. You need to edit. What did she say? She said, good afternoon. Since you claim that you're about the truth, you may want to correct your X post. I wasn't at the event. And I said, oh, but you're part of that group, are you not? And she says, I've never been to any of those meetings, and I'm not a part of any group. Oh, so you're admitting that they have meetings. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, so you don't coordinate and talk with Stephanie Fetzer, Richard Blatt, or Paul Van Noy at all? I don't coordinate with anyone. Have a nice day. And I'm like, well, I never claimed you were there, so I don't believe that there's anything to correct. Have a nice day. Oh, and if you still have that copy of the Jewish Revolutionary Spirit I let you borrow, I'd like to have it back. So the idea that I'm out here telling people to lie about who they are or what they believe to get involved with the Republican Party, I was here handing out copies of the Jewish Revolutionary Spirit to the volunteer coordinator 3 years ago. I wasn't hiding at all. It's just a matter of knowing where you are, knowing the audience you have, and tailoring how you speak to them. You don't barge into a room full of old white people and drop N-bombs. That's not how you make friends or influence people.
Making friends and influencing people.
It's a good book. You got to read it. So anyway, the flyer continues. While the Backlash operates under the First Amendment protections, its content risks inciting harm by normalizing anti-Semitism, anti-American sentiment, and attacks on marginalized groups, functioning as a radical call for exclusionary control and a rejection of democratic values.
Yes.
Now, like, where have we heard that language before?
I agree with that 100%.
From Marxists. No. Marxists and the Human Rights Education Institute.
This is
and
canned language. It's canned language.
Yeah, these liberal groups are the ones saying, this is a threat to our democratic values. This anti-Semitism is hateful and could incite harm. It's like, yeah, so like, what are you with the ADL?
Yeah,
What's your problem?
They're probably getting canned language from like the Human Rights Institute at this point.
They are. Well, and that's just it. Jeanette Laster, the executive director of the Human Rights Education Institute here in Coeur d'Alene, has explicitly told me that they have people at Candlelight. So for all of you watching, in case you're like trying to keep score here, Candlelight Christian Church is collaborating with the North Idaho Republicans, which is a liberal Republican group that promotes gay marriage, transgender surgery, and abortions.
Based Idaho.
They also work together with the Human Rights Education Institute, the Kootenai County Task Force on Human Relations, and the Southern Poverty Law Center. And they're out here promoting this guy for mayor in Coeur d'Alene, praying over him at stage. Oh, and by the way, did you see what Paul Van Noy did on the pulpit the other day?
I did.
I don't think we've had a chance to play it on our show, and I think it's worthwhile. So I did a solo episode with J.D. Hall. He's a polemical expert on dismantling Christian Zionism. And after that episode came out, a lot of people at his church watch my stuff. They watch our show.
They hate watch it.
Some hate watch it, but some have been leaving the church. We had 2 people show up at our meetup that left Candlelight Church because of me and you.
Yes.
And so there are people in his church that are freaking out and causing a scene because they're not all on the same page. And so in order to try to reestablish his authority in his church, this is what he said last Wednesday night.
I may be a statesman, but I am a prophet. I am a pastor. I am a spokesperson for God. I'm a prophet. I am a spokesperson for God.
Dude.
These people are losing so badly, and they're now resorting to calling the cops on us for trying to eat dinner.
Yeah.
This is not the kind of America or Idaho that anybody wants to live in. And I guarantee that there are groups like this all around the country doing the exact same thing.
Your evangelical church is infiltrated. And this is the reason people are flocking to Catholic churches, which are also infiltrated.
But much less.
But I think to a lesser degree, and I think it's more obvious. But him calling himself a prophet, I mean, that's blasphemous.
Bro, I mean,
I know.
Really?
So
really?
let's zoom out. All right. What does this mean for us? Does this mean that we should not be meeting up in person? Do you think the crackdown is going to continue? How much further does the Overton window need to shift for us to feel safe meeting up in person? Like, what are the takeaways here? I think, and I'll talk about it in Rebecca's rants, I think that we need to continue meeting up in person. I think that it is probably the most important part of this movement, regardless of the cost. I mean, let's be reasonable here. If we're getting shot and stuff like that, we should not be doing it. We don't want to be in a Charlie Kirk situation. But meeting up in person and having real life interactions is going to be essential for moving the movement forward. And as we've discovered, you put yourself in a very good position when these things get broken up, especially by authority figures. This made us look awesome.
Actually, it did.
It really did. And we got a lot of B-roll.
Everybody that came, and by the way, if you're watching, which you probably are, To all the people that came out, thank you. It was wonderful to see your faces and to hang out for 30 minutes, which we did get to do. And so we will be having more meetups. They will not be designed to, it will not be designed in the same way. This was designed to be an offensive meetup. It was designed to get these people to overreact, which they did. So thank you for falling into my trap.
Also, another takeaway is that local politics, even in states that are supposedly based, are totally infiltrated by leftist
Which is
groups.
why we have to vote. Unlike you've got a chance. You can vote for the right person in this election.
I truly believe that women shouldn't vote, so I should not vote.
No, see, you have to use what we got. And what we got right now is women vote. So women are going to have to vote to take away their own right to vote.
I am taking a principled stance for once. And I don't believe we can use the system to change the system. I'm just not going to do it. I'm like, all right, I don't think I'm ever going to vote again for anything under any circumstances.
Well, then you're going to get more of this. You're going to get more of this stuff.
But look at what they're doing. It's a bunch of Karens like with dyke haircuts calling the cops on us.
Yeah, I know. And
burritos.
imagine how much nicer this area could be if a bunch of Karens with dyke haircuts at the Zionist church weren't in control and putting pressure on the police.
But
the city council.
They're never going to win. They're never. The other takeaway.
We're going to win. The point, though, is that we can't just sit on our laurels. There's two elements of this, reform and revolution, and both need to be preparing at the same time. The people reforming, going into the party, enacting laws, running for office, that has to be happening at the same time that we are creating networks of people that will take control of society if there is a collapse.
I want Cameron to opine on this in just a second. But the other takeaway from this is that the police, this back the blue thing, the police are not our friends. They go into these authority positions because they're narcissists and psychopaths, and they're just going to continue enforcing whatever is, whatever the state wants. They're basically thugs. I do feel bad for this guy on the left with the mustache. He really looked like he did not want to be there. And I talked to him a little bit. I'm like, is this the best use of your time? And he was like, no.
No.
And it's not.
And by the way, they probably had every squad car on duty in Coeur d'Alene come out to this.
There were 5 squad cars. It was ridiculous. So they said, like, thank you for not causing a huge issue. Thank you for leaving and not being violent or anything like that. And I said,
I gave them the finger. They didn't say thank you to me.
They said thank you to me, and I said, why would we? We're white. We're white. We're not going to do that. And then I was met with like tepid laughter. But like, I know that they understand here. Like, if we were black, this would have been a whole fucking thing. And instead we left the premises.
Right.
And we went on our merry way. Anyway, Cameron, go ahead. Can you talk a little bit about reforming from within and meeting and the importance of meeting in real life? Oh no.
Look, I'll be brief. There's a quote that's I think it's apocryphal. It's usually attributed to Gandhi. Who knows? Somebody on the internet probably made it up, but it goes something like this: first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win. And so my read is that you guys had a successful event, albeit it was a bit provocative, and we got some free publicity. So I would thank them for their complimentary words, and the rest of it I would completely ignore.
Agreed.
As to your question regarding the importance of in-person meetups, look, you can only connect but so far online, right? It is comforting to a lot of people to go into a Twitter space, for example, and connect with others that are like-minded, but there's no substitute for doing that in real life. And I think what you guys demonstrated is that the consequences are not that severe, right? I mean, really, there wasn't all that much backlash. No pun intended. And you guys had a successful meetup. So
yeah,
I just wouldn't pay too much mind. I understand you both live there, and your families, your reputations, your roles in the community make it more emotional. But the fact of the matter is that much of what they said in that little blurb about us is an acknowledgement that our platform is substantive, that it's a message that resonates, because we have serious problems in this country, problems that they've tried to bury for a long time. And now they're being ventilated, and they're being explained in such a way that's digestible to the population and actionable. Yeah. And that's what's particularly scary for the rest of them. So look, we're on the road to Damascus. We're headed in the right direction. And the only quibble I have with what you said, Dave, is we do promote unity on this platform, and
Sure.
we do have a vision that we have explicated on numerous occasions, namely three basic pillars, right? One is that, yeah, our democratic system is broken. It's systemically broken, and we're going to have some kind of an exogenous political movement that's going to fix it. That's one. I think there's a consensus about that. The second is that race realism is not just a topic on the internet. It's got to be foundational to any national movement that we have in this country. We have to regain racial consciousness to regain our national identity. There is no other way. And then thirdly, that the majority shareholder in the corruption and perversion of the United States in destroying its ability to promote its national interests is Jewish power. And that's what we talk about on this platform. And we unify others that share that message. And let's be frank, that message is going mainstream. And that's why you experienced the backlash that you did.
Now, I'm going to have to I'll probably do it like tonight. I'll probably have to do my own video on this thing because it goes so much deeper than we've even gone in yet. There is a clip that I still want to share with everybody. And this is, we covered it on this program several months ago while Vince was still on the show. The Republican Party in this county held a meeting. They held a candidate forum that was disrupted by Democrats, leftists that showed up and they were screaming. And one of them, named Teresa Borenpol, literally got dragged out by her hair by private security at the meeting.
The whole thing was an op, right?
Right? Oh, that whole thing was a Democrat op. Now, a few days after that event at the school, the Republican Party had their normal monthly meeting. And they had private security at the meeting, and they called the police because they were expecting someone to make a scene at the party meeting to make it so that they can't function. So they called the police, they called private security, and I've got the body cam video. And it's incredible to me that the police said that they would not remove anyone from disrupting a meeting, but they would remove patrons like us from the food trucks. And so I think this needs to be played.
How you doing?
Hey,
Shane Averett. I'm all right, thanks.
You're Lieutenant?
I am, with Coeur d'Alene.
Averett, okay.
Averett, yep.
Averett.
Do you mind if we talk over here real quick?
Yeah.
All right. So I spoke with Griffin earlier.
Uh-huh.
Our biggest thing for tonight, and I'm sure you're hoping the same thing, is that this is uneventful.
Yes.
Completely.
Yes.
The conversation I had with him is what I'm hoping is that this starts getting out of hand. You guys take the positive role and take a break, a recess, whatever it is you call it. Hopefully things will calm down. And then if you choose so to, reconvene and continue your meeting, perfect.
Okay.
We're going to be available by emergency phone,
Okay.
911, whatever you want to do. Griffin already knows that they're going to handle whatever occurs in there. Our goal tonight is not to take anybody to jail, not to write any citations. Hopefully this is a peaceful event and we all go home safe.
Right, okay. And if we have somebody who's disruptive and then they, we recess for 5 minutes and they're still there and they come back and they're disruptive again?
We're going to let them try to handle it the best they can.
Okay, but to what extent?
This is a private meeting, so hopefully we can talk to them and that they are willing to leave. I'm not forcibly removing anybody.
Okay.
I will not do it. If we have a physical fight in here, obviously we will deal with that, but I don't want to put hands on anybody because somebody is having a boisterous conversation or being loud and disruptive. That is something that hopefully we can stop before it happens, before it gets way out of hand.
And so if we simply can't conduct the meeting and these people won't shut up?
I would say adjourn it and reconvene a different day. That is the positive way to handle this, rather than have a physical altercation or give people what they want by us going hands-on with them. I don't want that.
So essentially what the Coeur d'Alene police is saying is that the heckler's veto is the law of the land in Coeur d'Alene, and that they will not eject people for being disruptive, but at the same time, they will eject us from being patrons.
Yeah.
And this, I was going to do you want to go to the next segment?
Yeah, but I wanted to say really quick, what Cameron said is important. So if you want to meet up in real life, basically what happened here is nothing. I mean, they were like, please leave. It's not like they had their firearms drawn and, it turned out to just not be a big deal. If you want to meet up,
go meet up.
Go meet up. It's like the worst thing that can happen to you.
We have several standing meetups on a weekly basis in the county. And if you're up here and you're like a listener of the show, get in touch. We'll integrate
But nothing is going to happen to you. Everybody's so scared. Like, I understand that our reputations are already destroyed within the community, so we don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
But the worst thing that's going to happen is that people tell you to leave, and it's just not a big deal.
It's not a big deal.
Everybody's so scared of authority figures. Anyway,
but I guess, just to kind of begin this transition to the next segment, right? You've got these crazy fucking people at these candlelight Christian churches, these Zionist types that are running their people for government. They're calling the cops on you. They are exercising as much power as they possibly can to stop political dissent, to shut anyone up who disagrees with their stance on Israel. And that was covered specifically in this Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes thing. So I want to bring this up. We have a little clip. And then, what's going on here in Idaho. The tweet that I wrote says, in his recent interview, Tucker Carlson talked about the genocidal calls to excise people like Tucker and Nick Fuentes from the conservative movement. And I'm here to tell you that those voices are here operating in Idaho. Imagine a Republican Party that expels anyone who doesn't support Israel as a matter of bylaw. So here's the clip.
I think it's reality to say that guilt is not inherited. Blood guilt is bad. One of the reasons that I'm mad about Gaza is because the Israeli position is everyone who lives in Gaza is a terrorist because of how they were born, including the women and the children. That's not a Western view. That's an Eastern view. That's a non-Christian, that's totally incompatible with Christianity and Western civilization. They say, we're the defenders of Western civilization. Not with that attitude. You're not. Collective punishment is the enemy of Western civilization.
Yeah.
And so I hate that attitude. It's genocidal. The current claims that I'm a cancer, from Ben Shapiro or whatever, we need to be excised from the body of conservatism, is a genocidal position that it basically encourages violence, as they well know. The whole thing I hate.
And so this is important because I have in the post a follow-up, a guy named Mark Eaton. He is a district chair within the Republican Party, complaining about anti-Semitism. I quoted the Bible, 1 Thessalonians 2:14 through 16. And so he responds that I need to get away from my worship of Pope Pius X. He was a man, blah, blah, blah. And the time is coming soon. I believe we will be alive to witness it, blah, blah, blah. And he says, it's obvious from your comments that you are indeed an anti-Semite, not fit to be in the Republican Party. Your days as such may be limited. There are some serious changes being considered that may allow the party to expel folks like you.
The irony of this is that we do need to summarily excise people from our movement, and it's anybody that in any way, shape, or form supports Israel.
Yeah.
And so I'm fine with Ben Shapiro's position in principle, but it needs to be turned on him.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to put support of a foreign nation as the most important litmus test for whether or not you should hold elected office, you need to shut the fuck up and go away. Because this is America, and we care about what happens in America, and we should not be moving people out of the party or telling people that they can't run for office because they disagree with your goofy, eschatological, dispensationalist views. I'm sorry.
Can you pull up this
fucked
clip?
up. Yeah. So anyway, we're talking about Tucker and Nick now.
Okay, so this interview, I thought it was incredibly boring, just incredibly boring. However, it is blowing up the internet. I think it has 2.5 million views just as of, or maybe 3 million views if you want to check. They didn't talk about anything that was groundbreaking. No real revelations were made except Nick did the thing of like, but I have a Jewish friend and my producer's Jew. I was like, dude, shut up. They talked about racism. I thought that part was a little bit interesting. Let's watch this clip on Christian Zionism as a mind virus. This was somewhat interesting.
How do you explain Mike Huckabee, Ted Cruz, and there are a lot like that, John Bolton. I mean, I've known them all, George W. Bush, like Karl Rove. I mean, all people I know personally who I've seen like be seized by this brain virus, and they're not Jewish. Most of them are self-described Christians, and then the Christian Zionists who are, well, Christian Zionists. Like, what is that?
Right.
And I can just say for myself, I dislike them more than anybody. Because like, what? Because it's Christian heresy, and I'm offended by that as a Christian. That's why. So I don't like, why not? Like, I'm pissed at the neocons, very pissed. I've said that a million times. I've been mad since December of 2003 when I went to Iraq. And so like I went and asked straightforward questions to Ted Cruz because that seemed like there's a sitting senator who's like serving for Israel by his own description. He seemed like a worthy target. I'm not going after MTG, who's like the most sincere like, why not go after Ted Cruz? I don't understand.
I'm so tired of all these talking points. Did anybody else find this interview vexing and didn't enlighten any ideas that I hadn't heard before? However, I think the real story, I don't even want to watch the remainder of these clips because who cares? Let's pull up the Dinesh tweet. The real story here is the response to Tucker platforming Nick. So Dinesh D'Souza in a viral tweet said, I'm posting 2 text exchanges with Charlie Kirk where he calls Nick Fuentes vermin and insists even my debating him and defeating his arguments nevertheless amplifies him. One can only imagine what Charlie would say about Tucker's butt-licking interview with Fuentes. Can you read these? I can't. I'm so blind.
What do you mean? This was a massive mistake that you did this? He's vermin and you just gave him one of the biggest boosts of his career.
Right. I mean, why would Dinesh do this? And I think that the story here is the reaction. People are like, oh, he platformed Nick Fuentes. And so my broader question about this interview, because people are saying, well, the Overton window is shifting. I think maybe we're too focused on the Overton window, although I do talk about it all the time. Can you pull up this Nick mainstream tweet? Is this Nick moving towards the center, or is the center moving towards Nick? I believe that it is probably a combination of both. Okay, Nick Fuentes' appearance on Tucker's show receives 99% approval rate from his audience. The degree to which Nick Fuentes has entered the mainstream is unprecedented. Yes, but I do think his positions are considerably more moderate than they were a few years ago.
No, they're not.
I think they were. I think that he's he's engaging in some of this big tent conservatism and universalism that I'm not super happy with, although I'm on the fence. I do appreciate that some of these viewpoints are getting normalized. I don't like to hear the attitude that like, this is Israel, that we should reform from within. Like, I want him to talk about, I wanted him to be on Tucker talking about Jews.
He was.
Not in the same way that he does on his own show.
He was.
I think he tempered his talking points.
Yeah, he's reading the room and talking to the boomers. He's speaking to the boomers.
Yeah, but I don't care about converting the boomers. They're going to die.
No, they're not dying soon enough. What are you talking about? No. Like, if we want to have change in the next, right now, then we're going to have to convert people. We're going to have to change the minds of boomers, of people in power, of Trump himself,
so you
of
believe,
the administration.
You believe this was a very meaningful cultural moment that represented a massive shift in the Overton window and the perspective of normal people?
No, what I'm saying is that Tucker's audience has been gatekept from watching Nick because Tucker's been going around saying, you're gay, you're a Fed, you're this, you're that. So they've never experienced Nick. They've never listened to him before. And now that Tucker is there to hold their hand with them while they listen to 2 hours of Nick Fuentes talking, they are now exposed to Nick's ideas for the first time.
That's true.
For the first time. So, where we are doesn't matter, frankly. Like, we've been in this for 10 years, 15 years, however long. There are people out there today that don't know what we knew 9 years ago.
Duh.
They need to be brought up to speed, and this does that.
Cameron, what do you think?
Okay, so Dave is correct in the sense that, look, Fuentes is growing up, okay? He's maturing as a young man. A lot of his earlier content, it didn't express a lot of ideas. It was a lot of very reactionary, emotional garbage. But that resonated with his audience. And he did talk about issues that matter, issues like race and Zionism, things of that nature that have been taboo for a long time. What's happening is he's evolving, and that's what he should do. And that does lend itself to mainstreaming a lot of these ideas. I think that that's true. However, look, there are much bigger things that are going on. This interview is important. It's not decisive. The boomers and the rest of these folks, they are reacting. What we think, and this is a point of view I've tried to convey to both of you, but you don't believe me, and I understand I understand that. But it's the edge that matters. It's not the mainstream. The mainstream is irrelevant. The Overton window does not matter, right? It is a prism through which you look at normies, and normies, for the most part, are irrelevant. They don't matter. Now, you might say, yeah, but they vote. Okay, and what good has voting done for 50 years? It hasn't done a damn thing. It's irrelevant, okay? It's theater. It's just a theatrical exercise. We are entering into a very different landscape that's going to, I think, show a lot of fireworks, right? You're going to see the sky light up because we're facing an emergency, right? We've got a racial mess that's unfolding in every major city across the country. We have federal agencies that can't get control of millions of illegal immigrants across this country, despite the fact that the president was elected by a majority of the population to do exactly that. What does that tell you about where we are and the nature of electoral politics? Those things are much bigger than a lot of these interviews. And it's our ideas that address exactly what's happening at the street level, as I keep saying. In addition to that, what's good about the interview between Tucker and Fuentes, what's good about what's happened on the internet, is that the diagnosis of what's wrong with the United States is getting closer to the truth, right? We're hovering right over it, when for a long time, for decades, these issues were endlessly buried in a lot of ridiculous language that danced around the truth, right? It wasn't crime, it was poverty, it wasn't race, it was prejudice, right? All of these things. And that's vaporizing. And it's vaporizing because of our ideas in part, but really it's vaporizing because the United States is hurting. And that's what we're going to talk about later on this show. But the final point I'll make about this is that Tucker Carlson, who I think is a product of this sort of, I don't know, the post-Reagan mainstream Republican nervous system, all right? That's really where his frame of mind is. And he's, to his credit, he's broken away from that. And that's why he entertained Fuentes. But he, like everybody else, seems to be very confused about why people on Capitol Hill do what they do. It's just not about a mind virus, all right? Ted Cruz doesn't believe in a damn thing. These people kiss the ring. They want power. So they go to people who have power, and it is bestowed upon them. And what's required to do that, right? What's required to become a U.S. senator or to become president of the United States is that you must be a pro-Zionist. That is a precondition. It is non-negotiable, which is why our country is a mess. That's what this is about. It is not an ideology. The minute that that changes, the minute that the power structure begins to wobble, all of these people will find Jesus in a heartbeat. And that includes all the baby boomers, by the way. Final point I'll make is that the baby boomers aren't going to do shit until their dividend payments are cut in half, until they lose their retirement. That is going to happen. That's imminent. And when that happens, all of a sudden, their views will become our views. Our job, my job on this platform, is to take the diagnosis and give you a prognosis, to tell you where we are going, not just talk about the past. And if we understand the past, then we can sort of direct our way forward, which tells us that, yes, we have to meet in real life. We have to create new organizational structures, and they have to more or less be aligned with the ethno-nationalist movement that we've described. And that's going to happen. Network effects, right, outside of politics are the decisive variable that's going to save this country, not voting for a Republican who has an AIPAC handler, okay? That party is finished. Those politics are over.
Yeah, no, I agree. But at the same time, you know, we're seeing tweets and clips like this. Nick Fuentes and Tucker Carlson discuss how organized Jewry subverts Americanism. Nick Fuentes, quote, you cannot actually divorce Israel and the neocons from Jewishness, unquote. Yep. This has never been told in the mainstream to Tucker's audience, to Conservative Inc., to the people that have been living on the plantation for the past decade. They are hearing this for the first time. This is huge. And anybody that's coming out and saying that Nick Fuentes is compromising, that he's disavowing his former beliefs, are just fucking A-logs. They don't get it. They don't see we've got a gap that we need to bridge. And, you know, again, like there might be some collapse situation that would accelerate all of this. But, you know, let's pretend for a moment that everything's going to be fine and they're just going to keep slapping Band-Aids on the financial system. We've got to bridge the gap. And that means coming from our side and getting political power, getting people involved, educating the leaders of the Republican Party at your local level, at your state level on this particular issue and how this is working. And of course, everybody's starting to see it. They've all seen the Ted Cruz interview now. Everybody's seen that. And they've seen how he freaks out.
As always, I'm blinded by my female emotion, and I am highly resentful for those that have not sacrificed anything to talk about the Jews and to be early adopters of the Jewish thing, because it was it affected our lives, our personal lives, so much. And so to see people come in now and be like, "Ooh, I had no idea," I'm like, "You're retarded."
I am reminded of the parable of the guy. Right, there was he owned a vineyard, right? And damn, I can't remember what the name of the parable was, but it was the man who owned the vineyard, and he went out at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and he hired somebody and said, "I'll pay you a penny to come and work my vineyard." And then at noon, he went out and said, "Hey, I'll pay you a penny to work the vineyard." And then he went out again at 6 p.m. and said, "Hey, come, I'll pay you a penny to work my vineyard." And then at the end of the day, everybody had agreed, we'll all get paid a penny. And then the people that were there early in the morning were pissed that they got paid less than the people that came later. And the man who owned the vineyard reminded them, didn't you accept this? Didn't you agree that you would work for this earlier?
I'm with the vineyard workers on this one.
No. You've got to, that parable is very applicable, I think, to this situation. We shouldn't be resentful or pissed at people that are just coming around now, because without Nick, without people like you and me and Vince and all of the people that came before that got canceled, without them, we wouldn't have this moment that we're having now. And that's why we need to keep pushing harder and harder and not hold it against the people that are latecomers,
Fine.
Yeah, that's true, Dave. But there's also something that's happened over the last couple of years. A lot of people have been killed. True. Innocent people.
True.
Right? They've been victimized, and that's been on the television screen. And nobody in Congress gives a shit about it. Nobody in the West calls it a genocide, right? Outside of a very small minority. There's no accountability, and American equipment continues to flow, right? American diplomatic support is unquestioned. And yeah, people have noticed, and they've asked questions about it. So you're right. Again, what's happened on the edge, what happens on the edges in all of these political battles is what's decisive. And I absolutely think that you guys in particular have been at the vanguard of this for 10 years, and it has made a big difference. Remember, you helped get Trump elected in 2016, which opened a lot of doors, right? All of a sudden, then you could start to talk about immigration and race in ways that were unheard of just 5 months, 6 months before Donald Trump started to run, right? There's no question about that. But let's not forget what has really moved the needle on Zionism, and that is Zionism. The point of the system is what it does. And Zionism has butchered these people, it's killed them, and now it's threatening to embroil the United States in a major regional war, if not a global war, to do its bidding. And there's no there's no sense of remorse. There's no contrition. I think it was Alistair Crook who was on Napolitano the other day, and he was asked by Napolitano, is there any sense of the human cost of Netanyahu's war over the last couple of years? And he said, absolutely not. The view in Israel is that they are victims, no matter what. It doesn't matter what the circumstances are.
Kind of like these Christian Zionists.
That mentality. It is the mind virus of Zionism itself that has awakened people, because you can't unsee children being blown away from the sky. You can't unsee that. And that's what people, whether they're baby boomers or they're Gen Z or what have you, that's what they have seen. That has opened the door. And now what we have done is explained it, right? We have contextualized it, and we have rationalized why the United States has been subverted and poisoned by it, which is our job. But people had to be ready for that diagnosis.
Right. And part of that is this collision with economic problems that we're having and that we're about to see, especially with the EBT thing. Maybe we should play this clip. Can you go all the way down to the outline?
Yeah,
of the end of
I
the
just
outline?
want to post this. It was I was thinking of Matthew 20,
The parable of the vineyard.
Right. And he says, so the last will be first, and the first last. Many are called, but few are chosen. And so we were chosen to be the first, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, it is.
Because this has not been worth it.
This has absolutely
Send your super
been
chats to
worth it.
backlash.net.
Tell us if it, please. And by the way, it's our 88th episode.
It is.
This is a big episode.
Yeah.
We've got to get some $88 super chats.
Or $14 super chats.
Or $14.88, however you want to cut the cake.
Yeah.
Let them eat cake, right?
Yes, and I saw this in the live chat. Before this EBT segment, I was going to say, let them eat chicken wangs.
Let them eat wangs. Get some of that Houston hot chicken.
Yeah.
Dave's hot chicken or whatever.
Yep.
Man, I can't stand fried chicken.
What is wrong with you?
I don't know, man. Like,
of all the food, fried chicken might be the most delicious food that exists.
Oh, no way. What's wrong with you?
Oh, it's so good.
No, it's not.
Okay,
If I were king of America, I would ban fried chicken.
That would be the most
And grape
unpopular.
soda.
Okay, fine. That's fine. Fried chicken is, all cultures do fried chicken.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No.
Cameron?
Chicken soup. Maybe do like a little, what's that, chicken cacciatore, you know? There's some good stuff.
That's fine.
But
I
not
love chicken
fried chicken.
cacciatore.
You got to put it in pasta, submerged in red sauce. Maybe a little bit of melted mozzarella on top.
I hate you.
Are we talking about the real Matt Forney thing?
Yeah, let's talk about that. We can do
Is
this
that
EBT
what you wanted?
clip
Or,
if
you
wanted.
wanted me to go to the EBT clip? Okay.
Because we talked about this last. It's all the way at the end of the outline. We talked about this last week, but this is really coming. Go up. It's under Cameron's links.
This one.
Yes.
Or this one. Who is to blame?
Yeah, that's the one. Wait, no, the one I put. Sorry.
This one.
The next one. Yeah.
Okay.
We talked about this a little bit last week, and I had anticipated that they would have gotten the money back in Snap to avoid this. But it seems like we are really out ahead here.
Snap-pocalypse.
It's the Snap-pocalypse. And this was a pretty good explanation of what is going to happen, what we believe is going to happen.
I've been watching the videos of people that are going to lose food stamps, possibly Saturday. By the way, some states are stepping in and going to use state funds, but more than half the states don't have any money to step in. You know, Texas has a fund of over $20 billion. You know, we've been a real fiscally responsible state. We'll probably step in and cover the food stamp funding until the thing gets resolved. But Illinois and I'm sure Minnesota and probably California they're just broke. So what's going to happen when 42 million people are angry? And as I said, I've been watching the videos. They're telling us they're going to go into Walmart, they're going to fill their baskets up, and they're going to walk out. Now, we saw that on a limited basis a few years ago when the internet went down and people's SNAP cards didn't work. And you know, I hate to say it, but it's mostly minority communities.
Thanks, bud.
We have entire.
That's absolutely true. So it's this collision of entitlement programs getting suspended. And let's talk about this USAA whistleblower thing. So we've talked extensively about H-1Bs replacing competent white workers. And I think it is so much worse than even we thought. Matt Forney, who I haven't heard from, he's an OG Manosphere guy.
Really?
He used to work for Return of Kings. He's super cool. I must have met him 10 years ago. He has done this fantastic expose on USAA replacing white workers with H-1Bs. You guys have to read it. We can link that below, but I wanted to read a little bit from his expose. A whistleblower exposes Indian H-1B abuse and malfeasance at USAA, a company that provides insurance and banking services for veterans and their families. According to a whistleblower, when Davis took over the USA CEO position in 2000, they began contracting much of their work to H-1B body shops, a trend that has continued to present day. The whistleblower describes USAA headquarters as having conference rooms that have been converted into open plan offices with computers that the Indians from H-1Bs work from. He said that they are so packed together that if you move your mouse, you'll hit somebody else. Another whistleblower reveals that USAA is potentially exposing its customers, including top U.S. military and government personnel, to fraud and identity theft via their reliance on Indian H-1Bs. They've outsourced to AML, anti-money laundering work to TCS, Tata Consulting Services, an infamous Indian body shop. What could possibly go wrong? The whistleblower has been with USA for well over a decade and describes the gradual downfall of the USAA military culture and erosion of FTE and customer support in lieu of ESG and DEI policy adherence. He provides several pictures of the 2015 Christmas party and last year's Christmas party. In 2015, the majority of them were Americans. Now 70% are foreign-born Indians. He reports that during the COVID pandemic, they accelerated their implementation of DEI policies alongside a quiet culling of senior veteran FTE employees. This resulted in at least 3 suicides among American employees, one of them shooting himself in the head in the USAA parking lot after he was laid off, attached his internal email. About the suicide. While USAA veteran American employees are literally taking their own lives, USAA has been quietly backfilling every layoff with an H-1B visa policyholder. I encourage everybody to read this expose by Matt Forney. It has a lot of supporting documents, but it seems like their customer service is terrible. Like all of these protections on consumer information are being violated by their outsourcing. And like nobody can get their problems fixed. Nobody could do what they were doing before. And like all of the employees are downtrodden and pissed off, and there's just a fear. There's a company culture of fear because they know they're going to get fired and replaced. And it sounds like these H-1B visa workers are wildly incompetent. There are reports of them not knowing basic coding. There are reports of them unable to fulfill the most basic customer service tasks. There are reports of 2 H-1B visa workers replacing one competent person. He actually talks about there being some minor problem, I think, in accounting that the H-1Bs could not figure out. So they had to call back a white woman that they had fired to sort it out. And it was a relatively simple issue. So, I mean, they're going to collapse under the weight of the incompetence of these Indians, and they will pay. But how many people are going to suffer in the interim? How many veterans are going to kill themselves in the interim? And I think that this ties in perfectly with the Amazon layoffs. If you can pull that link up, it's Reuters, so there's behind a paywall, but it's just the beginning that's very important. Amazon is planning to cut as many as 30,000 corporate jobs beginning on Tuesday as the company pars expenses and compensates for overhiring during peak demand of the pandemic. So they're saying in their report that they are trying to be a nimble company, that they are increasingly reliant on AI. And as we discussed a few weeks ago, I would like to see some evidence that they are truly reliant on AI. I would like to know how many of these jobs can get replaced. And I would also like to know why they're hiring so many H-1Bs in the midst of this massive corporate layoff that hasn't happened in scale since 2022.
Well, we know why they're hiring H-1Bs, and it's because they're cheaper.
They are cheaper.
They're cheaper,
but they're
it's
less
better for
competent.
corporate profits.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Yeah, can you pull this next tweet up, the job chick, please?
Job chick?
Now in the Senate's crosshairs for mass layoffs and H-1B visa abuse, Amazon, 10,000, Apple, 4,000, Google Alphabet, 4,000, Meta, 5,000, Microsoft, 5,000, JP Morgan Chase, 2,400, Deloitte, Walmart, Cognizant Technology Solutions, Tata Consulting Services. They didn't run out of American talent. They replaced it. And while you were getting laid off, they were importing cheaper labor by the thousands. This is corporate betrayal.
Yep.
Corporations don't care about people. We used to have a culture in the United States back during the Ford era.
I was going to say before Ford, because that lawsuit between him and the Dodge brothers is what fucked everything up. I think we talked about that on the show, but Ford was, he made his assembly line. He was able to make the cars cheaper. He was able to pass on the profits of the company to the workers. And the Dodge brothers, who, by the way, have you ever seen the original logo of Dodge?
Was it awesome?
Original logo of Dodge Bros. Wait till you see it.
Oh, my Lord.
So the Dodge brothers sued Henry Ford.
Why?
Because they wanted the money, the profit, to go to the shareholders, not to the employees. And then we got a ruling. I forget, Cameron, maybe you remember the name of the case. It was, Dodge v. Ford or something. But the ruling states that corporate profits must be done for the fiduciary benefit of its shareholders, no longer about the employees.
Right.
And so this is the system that we've been operating under for about 100 years now.
And think about what people, especially women, because it's always about the women, right, are giving up to work at these corporations. They're giving up their fertility, their prospects for marriage, for having families. Men are being driven absolutely into the ground to make minimum wage at some of these companies. It's created an untenable situation for workers in America. And for people that are like, oh, my company is my family. Your company doesn't give a shit about you. They will fire you and hire two Browns to replace you and not think twice about it. And this country did not used to be like that. Can you pull up this tweet, this Ray Dalio tweet, middle class gone? Yes. All right, Ray Dalio, U.S. economy is two separate countries now, and one is screwed. Billionaire investor Ray Dalio says you can't look at the U.S. economy as a whole anymore because the gap between winners and losers is too extreme. Listen to this. About 3 million people, 1% of the population, in AI and tech are thriving, while the bottom 60% are struggling hard. He says if you're looking at it, let's say the AI world and really what amounts to about 3 million people, 1% leading, then the 5 or 10% around them, you have one world that the whole world is dependent on, and then you consider the 60% of the bottom. Consider this, 60% of the American population has below a 6th grade reading level. I would imagine that minorities contribute to this in a meaningful way.
One of the things I was also telling you, because we talked about this in our new pre-show
production meeting.
When I ran for school board in Post Falls, I was shocked to find out that 60% number is about on par with, about maybe 60% of the class can read at grade level at Post Falls public schools.
So it's poor white people,
and that's,
too.
Yeah, it's poor white. I mean, 95% of Post Falls schools are white. So it's not just minorities.
He also says that's tough. With that, they're becoming unproductive. And because of those things, you have dependency and extreme dependency. The numbers back them up. 22 states are in a recession, while only 16 are growing. California and New York carry the entire economy on their backs. Wealth inequality has exploded since 2020, which was COVID. I'm sure a lot of this is by design. The top 0.1% nearly doubled their wealth from 12 trillion to 22 trillion. The bottom 50% gained just 2 trillion. Combined, those numbers are staggering. The economy now runs on spending from the rich. If they stop, everyone else is toast. I mean, so my question for you guys is, how is this going to end for the middle class? Because no country can be successful without the existence of a robust, productive, stable middle class. It just cannot. This cannot continue. This wealth inequality spells, it doesn't spell trouble, it spells the end for all of this. So how is this going to manifest with all of these competing economic woes? Cameron, can you tell us?
Okay, so let's try and reframe this a little bit. There's a lot to unpack, and there's a lot to understand in a different way, because there's a lot of talking points that were included in that little blurb that are a bit misleading, and I think I can contextualize it a little bit better. That being said, what I want to start with is an article that came out, I think, a couple of years ago. Dave, maybe you can bring it up. It's called Complex Systems Won't Survive the Competence Crisis. Complex Systems Won't Survive the Competence Crisis. I encourage all of you to read this. I'm just going to read a couple paragraphs. This is towards the end of the article. The U.S. has embraced a novel question. What happens when the men who built the complex systems our society relies on cease contributing and are replaced by people who were chosen for reasons other than competency? The answer is clear. Catastrophic normal accidents will happen with increasing regularity. While each failure is officially seen as a separate issue to be fixed with small patches, the reality is that the whole system is seeing failures at an accelerating rate, which will lead in turn to the failure of other systems. Okay, now, I begin there because a lot of folks in our space in particular, they are very conspiratorial, and for good reason, right? They see the fingerprints of design in a lot of incompetence. However, the reality is that the incompetence is so great that people just assume that it's fraud. What's actually happened is that there has been a complete turnover. I would say a generational turnover in every major sector in the United States. It's true in the US military. It's true in corporate America. It's true in mainstream media. It's true in the US government. And so what you have at the top of these institutions is a cadre of people that are categorically incompetent, right? And obviously the flagship example of that is the president of the United States. And if you look back at the last 2 or 3 presidents, and I would say Trump might be the worst, right? You have people that are disqualified. They have no business whatsoever being president of the United States. Now, there are many reasons for that. Part of that is that the process of becoming president has nothing to do with having the executive talent to actually run the government. That's a big problem that we're going to have to solve. But that aside, the taskmasters that run our institutions, okay, including the Jewish financiers, are degenerated. They are not competent. They do not really know what's going on. Okay, so that's part of the problem. Let's also talk about what an economy actually is, because this is something that a lot of people just don't understand. If you go back to 1776, which is when The Wealth of Nations by a Scotsman named Adam Smith was published, that is considered by most to be the beginning of modern economic thought, right? That the idea that you have a marketplace. And Adam Smith advocated what's called the invisible hand. And the invisible hand was effectively, to be brief, the idea that people would act in their self-interest, and in the process of acting in their self-interest, there would be a collective good. What a lot of people don't know is that Adam Smith wrote a book before on Wealth of Nations, and it was called The Theory of Moral Sentiments. And the Theory of Moral Sentiments advocated that the precondition for having a market economy is that you had a community that was moral, that you had a common ethical framework in which there was mutual trust, empathy, and some semblance of a common moral order. If that common moral order is sacrificed, if it breaks down, guess what? You cannot have a market economy. Now, needless to say, what's happened in the United States, I would say since the 1970s, maybe since the 1980s, is that moral foundation, which treated not an economy per se with policies and regulations and so forth, but a nation, right? A nation that comprises a people that have individual rights, that have individual value. That paradigm has been completely askewed in favor of maximizing shareholder value. Now, the embryonic stage of that, as Dave mentioned a moment ago, is the Dodge brothers. But those legislative acts, court cases, they did not fundamentally change this country. What fundamentally changes is that the elites in this nation degenerated. They sold out, okay? Which is exactly the same thing I said a moment ago regarding the supposed mind virus that is Christian Zionism. The power structure in the country changed, and therefore the incentive structure for people at the top of institutions completely changed. Now, what's consequential about all of this is that there are 2 separate countries in the United States. There's no question, but the question is, which of the separate countries is real? Now, my contention is that the real country, the real nation, which is the one that we live in, where most people are living paycheck to paycheck, where there is rampant criminality, where there is third world degeneracy that has gripped the entire country, where there is deindustrialization, where there is obsolescence everywhere. Our bridges, our roads are falling apart. Are there exceptions to that? Of course there are exceptions to that. But by and large, there has been a downshift, right? There has been a falling standard of living, and I think it really began in the 1980s. That's the real country. The other country that's supposedly accumulating massive amounts of wealth, that's an illusion. That comprises people like Howard Lutnick, who buys a $25 million mansion from Brett Baer when he takes office last November with Donald Trump, okay? These are people that have not created wealth. They have not built new industries. They do not have a vision of a technocratic future based on any real economy whatsoever. They are merely accumulating dividend checks from a stock market that is a gigantic Ponzi scheme. Now, in addition to that, if you go back to that piece, what is said, I think obliquely by Ray Dalio, is that there are two countries, or rather there are two states that are holding everything together. He says New York City and California. What does he mean when he says that? What he means is that Wall Street, New York City, and Silicon Valley, California, are the sole creators of wealth in this country. That is a load of odorous excrement. That's bullshit. Wall Street is a cancer that's eating away at real economy in the United States. This is what we call financialization. Silicon Valley is basically an echo of that as well. In other words, the two allocators of capital in the United States, one based in Silicon Valley, the other that is Wall Street, are parasites. And so that lends itself to some degree to where we are headed. We are headed for some kind of financial event that's going to break these two centers of phony, illusory economic power. That is the way forward. That is what will help us definancialize. That's the answer. Okay. That is why, by the way, Donald Trump's administration is failing, because Trump has got the order of operations wrong. He thinks that he can reindustrialize the United States by strengthening the financial system, by leveraging the dollar as a weapon. He's got it backwards. The dollar and the financial system are the cancer that has eaten away at America's wealth, that has encouraged all of these corporate elites to offshore their manufacturing, to employ Indians from the third world and replace all of their domestic workers. And guess what? Now the corporate elite don't know anything about the companies that they run. They don't. They run skeleton staffs. They don't know how they're really administered. They don't know what customer service is. And so companies like USAA, they're on the verge of bankruptcy. They're going to collapse. This is how an economic structure breaks. The moral framework, the national identity, the homogenous white population that built everything, they have been betrayed on the one hand, and what's left is not a market economy. It's not free markets. It's financialization. It is a confetti, fugazi economy in which you have a very narrow crop of people that sit at the top that collect a dividend check and think they're really smart. Meanwhile, we're looking at Mad Max riding in the streets. That's exactly what's going to happen. And that is why I have said before that Washington, D.C. is not aware of what's going on. New York City does not understand how bad it really is. And that's why they are on the precipice of a catastrophe of their own making, and one that they cannot see.
Absolutely. And I think that Washington and Wall Street and Silicon Valley, a perfect microcosm that represents them, that they do not really produce anything, is Elizabeth Holmes and Theranos. So if you think about Elizabeth Holmes and Theranos, she knew that she was committing fraud. However, her company's valuation, which I believe was in the billions of dollars or hundreds of millions of dollars, was based on the perspective measure of value of the company. And that's how so many of these companies are run. It's not what they create. It's not how valuable that is to humanity. It's whether or not it's going to become profitable in the future. It's not a reflection on the substance or the content of the things they create. It's virtually market manipulation across the board. So while numerically, if you're quantifying it, these people are creating wealth. They're not manufacturing anything. They're just creating tech that may or may not be useful in future, that has a value, a nebulous value that nobody could truly hammer down in a meaningful way. And that's what our economy is based on.
Yeah. Well, it's all fake. I mean, it's all, I pulled up while you were talking, Cam, I pulled up this whole, was it WTF happened in 1971.com. And of course the economy's fake because the fucking money is fake. Mm-hmm. The money itself is fake. When Nixon, temporarily suspended the convertibility of gold and the dollar, that was supposed to be temporary, right? That was supposed to like stave off the speculators. But of course, it wasn't temporary, and it's remained the same. And we've got these worthless, thank you, please send us more of these, by the way. We've got these worthless pieces of paper that we need more of. So get your super chats in at the backlash.net/super chat.
Or my YouTube channel.
But the problem is the money. The money itself is the problem. And then you get all of this financialized bullshit built up on top of it based on future returns and, what things are going to be like in the future. That's all collapsing. Cameron's totally right. The dollar is a cancer. It does need to be, that needs to be excised from America. And we need to do something to get sound money back in this country.
Absolutely.
Yeah, now there's something else I want to mention too, because look, I have said repeatedly, and I think that the three of us agree in particular that we are experiencing a kind of end of cycle event. Now, without being too melodramatic, I think we are living in extremely combustible times. All right, at times that are akin to the French Revolution, maybe the Protestant Reformation. And when those kinds of moments happen, you get dramatic change across the board. So some of what's happening here, folks, is not simply that the moneyed system is broken. It's that our entire model of economics doesn't work anymore. 9 to 5, by the way, working your sort of 40, 45-hour work week, that's really only 100-year-old idea. Okay, and that's largely a product of industrialization 1 or industrialization 2. It's not a universal paradigm throughout human experience. In fact, there's another article I encourage all of you to read. I don't know if you can bring it up, Dave, but it's called "The Forgotten Medieval Habit of Two Sleeps."
Yes,
During the Middle Ages, people had a different pattern of life. Now, I say all of that
Indentured servants actually worked less than the average.
Oh yeah, well we had feast days. We had like Catholic holy days. You'd wind up only working like 4 days a week.
Right.
And that's like on the maximum end.
Reasonable. Sorry to interrupt you, Cameron.
Yeah, no, I mean it would be constant interruptions.
It's all true, but my point is that the economic models that we have that we consider orthodox, right? Whether it is your sort of classical liberal free market economy, or it's Keynesianism, right, which is what we currently live with. Those models are breaking down. Some of that is because of artificial intelligence. Some of that is because of broader change. But where I think we're currently positioned, all right, and this is very important because this is hard to digest. But I think most of you that are living, these are tough times. Paycheck to paycheck, you're working all the time. You may not know what the hell I'm talking about, but a book that I reference all the time is called Rise and Fall of American Growth by Robert Gordon. I highly recommend all of you read it, but listen to what he says here at the beginning of the book and consider where we are today, all right? He says the century of revolution in the United States after the Civil War was economic, okay? The century of revolution in the United States after the Civil War was economy. It was not political, freeing households from an unremitting daily grind of painful manual labor, household drudgery, darkness, isolation, and early death. Only 100 years later, so from 1870 to 1970, daily life changed beyond recognition. Manual outdoor jobs were replaced by work in air-conditioned environments. Housework was increasingly performed by electric appliances. Darkness was replaced by light, right? We had electricity, we had the incandescent light bulb, and isolation was replaced not just by travel, but also by color television images bringing the world into the living room. Most important, a newborn infant could expect to live not to age 45, but to age 72. The economic revolution of 1870 to 1970 was unique in human history, unrepeatable because so many of its achievements could happen only once. I think that we are in a very similar position today, folks, except that our great changes are going to be primarily political. They're going to be primarily psycho-spiritual. Our economic lives are going to change as well, but it is in the politics of things. It is in our national identity, our consciousness, right? Our religiosity. That's where these battles are going to be fought. And until we overcome most of the issues that we talk about on this platform, whether it is this racial mess that we've got across the country, saturating institutions with people that are not Americans, that are not competent and intelligent white people like us, we will not solve any of our problems. But I think that's exactly what we're going to do. Our revolution, in other words, is going to be political, and it's going to be in the trenches that we talk about all the time. That's going to make all the difference.
Cameron is on fire today.
He is. Speaking of trenches, oh my God. Did we talk about Daryl Cooper's new
No, I haven't listened to it.
podcast?
I've heard about it though.
Holy shit.
It's giving you some perspective on how good we have it.
Oh my God. Well, I mean, it's like, I remember I went to the gym and I started listening to it in the sauna as I was like burning alive in there. And then I came home and, the kids are screaming and knocking over pots and pans and freaking out and all that kind of stuff. And all of a sudden I'm listening to these horror stories of the men in the trenches of World War I, like getting their foot stuck on somebody's rib cage, somebody's decaying, rotting rib cage under a foot of mud, and how the rats would come out and start eating people alive.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy shit. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
It's just an absolutely incredible perspective because, like, we aren't ready for this.
No.
It's going to get bad.
Yeah.
And I think every generation that's come before that has gone to war, that has had to deal with these kinds of things. I mean, we've been dealing with all this bullshit online. We've been dealing with like the cops get called on you or whatever. But that's not like real suffering. That's not like real
No, this
war.
is why I have so little sympathy for people that are just obsessed with reputational damage. It's like your ancestors were getting their limbs blown off in trenches, and you're like, I don't want people to think that I'm racist. Like, are you people serious?
No, they're
Just
not.
Get over
Fundamentally,
it.
They're not. And it's going to get, I mean, especially on this EBT thing. When does that end? Does that end on November 1st? Is that really 3 days away?
I believe so.
So, I mean, if that is 3 days away, we're going to be talking serious civil unrest. I mean, for sure, if you're out there and you're watching this program and you're married and you live in a high diversity area, you cannot let your wife do the shopping from November 1st on.
No.
That is, it's going to turn into a war zone outside of Target and Walmart.
And pilgrims?
Well, probably not pilgrims,
Okay.
because we live in a predominantly white area. Plus, I don't think they accept food stamps or anything like that.
Oh, good. Okay.
But it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. And I think Cameron is also right, that we're going to be seeing a political reordering and an economic reordering. And if you've been paying attention to what's been going on with gold and precious metals, you're going to want to stock up.
Well, gold's in the 3,000s now.
We've got to give a big shout out to our sponsor, atlasbullion.com/backlash, because we've been talking about the economy so much. Gold is below $4,000. It hit a high of what, 4,400?
Can I ask, are you picking up gold right now or silver?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Gold.
Okay.
And it's because, I mean, silver is way more, it fluctuates a lot more. But there's been a lot of talk about, there's like the gold to silver ratio, right? We've talked about that on this program.
Oh, she took that off the website.
She did take it off the website. But it's, the gold to silver ratio traditionally was like at around 40. At its elemental side, it's like you will extract 12 ounces of silver for every ounce of gold that is extracted.
And
So
what is it at? It's 90 or
it's
something.
like 80 or 90 to 1, 90 pieces of silver to 1 ounce of gold. And so people are expecting, as we talk about on the show a lot, a reversion to the mean, which would mean the gold to silver ratio going back down to somewhere between 40 and 60 ounces to 1 ounce of gold. I am not so sure that we're going to see that because silver as an industrial commodity is so necessary for computers, solar panels, torpedoes, F-35s. So they're going to be suppressing the price of silver. Is it possible that silver goes up to $100 or $150 an ounce? Yeah, I mean, we were seeing that a couple of weeks ago in China. But when it comes to money, gold is like exclusively viewed as money, as capital, as a valuable shiny rock or whatever, in a way that silver is also a commodity. So it's both a precious metal and a commodity.
Cameron,
so
what do you think?
I'm buying gold because it's about the money. It's fix the money stupid. And
Cameron,
I think,
tell us how much gold you have and where you hide it.
where do you hide your gold, Cameron? Is it in a little pot under a rainbow?
Is it?
How did you know, Dave? You get me, man. You get me. Look, let's set aside for a moment the gold silver thing. I think you should own both, and we've talked about that. But what does gold rising represent? You know, a lot of you are very black pilled. You despair, and I understand why. I really do. You know, you go to your local CBS, you know, or your Target store, and you walk in. At least this has been my experience, and everybody's Indian or they're a foreigner of some kind, right? And you just think, my God, what the hell is going on? Where are we? How is this going to get fixed? What am I going to do? And many of you have said, okay, well, I'm going to move to Montana, or I'm going to move to Wyoming, which is what Dave and Rebecca have. But wherever you are, as we addressed at the outset of the show, this battle exists, right? It's going to find you. And at the same time, even though all of this mess of things is sort of giving, right? Things are breaking. There's this thing called gold, which is rising. And what is gold? Gold represents the truth. It represents a revaluation of everything to a true sort of metaphysically propertied asset. That's what gold is. Gold has been the base layer of every monetary system since the 12 tables of the Roman Republic, and even before, right? You go way back to antiquity, and there's evidence that gold had some kind of intrinsic value. Intrinsic value being the key component. But my point to all of you is that gold is rising because it's the truth, because it represents a reversion against fantasy, against the cantillionaires, against Fugazi. And ironically enough, this is exactly why Wall Street doesn't like it. Wall Street's late to the party. They're not accumulating gold by the tonnage, at least not yet. And when they start to, and I suspect that will come soon enough, they'll be exposed for the frauds that they are. My point is that gold is a metaphor, ladies and gentlemen. It is not just a catalyst for a massive change in the financial system. It's telling you that we're entering into an age of truth, where all the lies and all the bullshit is going to eviscerate. It's going to disintegrate. And everything that we've talked about, which has been shouted down or it's been attacked or denigrated, you know, reputations have been destroyed, families have been separated, particularly for people like us, right, that are public about it. We're right. What we're saying is the truth. And ultimately, truth crushed to earth will rise again, just as gold is. That's what it means.
Yep, I agree. It's also interesting to look at this is the Bitcoin versus gold chart. We haven't really seen a new all-time high yet of Bitcoin versus gold. I think that's coming. So if you want to get some gold, you can do that at Atlas Bullion. I'll put that back up on the screen. Where did this go?
Someone said, buy J-Proof. It's going to 100 billion.
True, right? Hold on. Why? What happened here? Show.
We should rug our audience.
No, we're not going to rug our audience. What are you talking about? atlasbullion.com/backlash. And if you are looking for other things, I do think Bitcoin is going to be very important in the upcoming new economy over the next 30 years. You can go to our affiliate links. You can buy Bitcoin. You can buy Bitcoin hardware from our friends over at Blockstream. You can use River Bitcoin to accumulate. You know, not everybody can afford a $4,000 ounce of gold, but you can dollar cost average a couple dollars a day into Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And so.
Not financial advice.
Not financial advice, not rugging. Don't do any fucking shit coins. Don't be crazy.
What? Can you talk about shit coins for 40 minutes?
Can I talk?
By the way, did you guys learn your lesson from doing this event? Did you get to the key takeaway? The key takeaway, I'll give it to you.
Please.
Is that you need to do another event.
Yeah.
Right?
Hell yeah.
Whole orchestration was designed to stop you from organizing again. That's all it is. And the more that you do it, the easier it will become, right? Yep. So again, this is a lesson to all of you out there, right? It's repetition, folks. It's a process. It's not a result. So yeah, be public, be unapologetic about your views, and continue to, carry that cross. Continue to have those live events. Continue to go on Twitter. Continue to fight with people that give you shit about your views. You will wear them down. And as I said, the truth, it has that momentum to it at these critical moments in history, and we're at one.
Oh yeah, my wife and I have constantly back and forth to each other, like, because one of us will get worn out, and the other one will remind, this is an endurance sport. This is about enduring to the bitter end. It's about final perseverance. It's about, picking up your cross every day. And it's the victory goes to the people that show up. So you've got to show up. You've got to get active. You've got to endure through the lies, the slander, the bullshit attacks, the cops getting called on you, whatever. And we are going to be doing some more meetups. We're probably going to have the most epic Christmas party of all time. So,
did you guys read my Rebecca's rants and then decide to summarize it succincly?
No.
Right before I did my rant. Is that what's happening right now?
Not at all.
I'm getting real conspiratorial.
Is this Dolly Parton's manifesto?
Come on. Marie Antoinette.
Marie Antoinette.
Misunderstood Marie. We got to get a lower third for this segment.
We do. Misunderstood, like MISS.
Aha.
I want to hear the rant. Let's hear it.
Yeah, hold on. Hold on a second. I have to do a thing.
I'm ready.
We are resetting. Okay.
I would like to discuss the importance of meeting up in real life. Thank you, Dave. So the Soviet government famously suppressed dissident assemblies that criticized communism or that discussed or revealed human rights abuses even privately. Police dispersed meetings. They arrested citizens for anti-Soviet agitation. They forced dissidents into exile. And I've got to say, this is kind of base, but they mandated commitment to psychiatric facilities by diagnosing dissent as mental illness like, quote, sluggish schizophrenia. Have you ever heard this before?
What?
Yeah.
No.
Forcing people into basically 5150ing them. Based. Groups were targeted with mass arrests. The rationale of the state was to maintain ideological control, to crush opposition that was seen as threatening to the regime, and to prevent the spread of awareness of their myriad abuses. We are experiencing the same thing under the guise that the government and its henchmen are breaking up anti-democracy militias. This is, of course, untrue, irrespective of our God-given right to form militias. We are not going to be allowed to congregate freely, whether or not we have innocuous intent, as we did the other day. Nonetheless, online networking is simply an insufficient replacement for in-person events. It is. We must continue to have them no matter the cost. Real-life meetings allow us to cultivate authentic relationships that go beyond the superficiality of online exchanges. And digital platforms facilitate initial networking, but they lack the nonverbal cues, the shared experiences, and this mystical gut instinct that we all have about other people. And that helps to aid in solidifying group cohesion. So studies show that humans develop this intuition in detecting trustworthiness basically from birth. We use a combination of facial cues, of hand gestures, voice tone, a number of things that are totally undiscovered scientifically to decide whether or not a person can be trusted. Of course, this has a biological origin because if you can trust somebody, they can be part of your tribe. Maybe you won't starve to death. Maybe they can help you. Most of these things, I assume, cannot be detected through online interactions, even in video. Being in the same room, it helps us to root out feds, degenerates, or simply people that feel off. I can't tell you how many times I've met somebody and I've been like, I don't know why I think this, but you're a fucking weirdo. And I never want to see you again.
Remember, you said that live to PNW Gorilla's friend.
No, I said he had psychopathic energy. That guy had psycho energy. I don't know what to say, but he's a nice guy though. I'm sorry about that. Moreover, face-to-face meetings may help to bridge divides that are more likely to boil over in an online setting. Think about all the things that you've said to somebody online that you would never say to somebody's face. That's like 80% of the stuff that I say, even to those with whom we mostly agree. And infighting can destroy movements, and physical proximity encourages unity, measured conversations, empathy for differing perspectives, and perhaps most importantly, in-person meetings allow for discussions that evade digital trails, if you're careful, especially when conducted truly discreetly, not like we did the other day. And modern technology makes online monitoring virtually ubiquitous. So in person, we can hold conversations that cannot be easily intercepted or recorded. Offline action is where momentum truly builds. As these digital traces, they almost always alert authorities. So recent movements in Hong Kong, although I think ultimately they were infiltrated, they're a pretty good example of physical secrecy protecting dissident operations from infiltration. They had a really good run. Online activism is also referred to as slacktivism because it's low effort. You share posts, there's no deeper involvement, you're not invested. But our online actions gain substance and they're validated by an in-person follow-through. So studies show that youth who engage politically online are more likely to translate that into offline actions. And offline events not only fuel the virality of online campaigns, but they also extend conversations and broaden networks. And so they're doing this in schools, they're doing this at work, and it creates this harmonious relationship whereby online interactions and in-person interactions begin to reinforce each other, and then it kind of snowballs. So we cannot get discouraged. This is an essential part of the movement, maybe the most important part. We must find ways to continue meeting in real life, even if the cops keep breaking them up. Thank you. I'm gonna
Dolly
like the
Parton
short
was
where I'm
never
dressed like
more
this.
eloquent.
Thank you.
No, it's true. It's true. The IRL meetup thing, it's so important for like camaraderie, for not feeling alone. I mean, when it's just you and the algorithm, God knows.
Oh, it's so lonely.
It's lonely. And then, who's to say that? I remember something that really radicalized me early on. And I won't be able to find an article on it, but I remember it was 2015 and an article had come out about how Facebook was experimenting with different segments of its user base by showing them more negative news stories and then using like Apple Watches and all of the tech that you have around you to monitor your heart rate, to see if all of the negative stories made you more agitated or not, in an effort to be able to socially engineer people's behavior. And so anytime I'm online anymore and I'm looking at the algorithm, I'm looking at these For You posts or whatever, I'm always thinking in the back of my head, is the algorithm manipulated? Are they trying to get me to change my behavior or to change my thought?
And most people don't have that internal reflection upon seeing these things. They just view it as the world.
Right. And it's so important to be able to break out of that sphere and into real life, where then you can meet other people. You'll find yourself hearing about news stories, things that are going on that if you were just on X or just on Facebook, you would have no clue what's really going on in your community. I cannot stress how important it is to get together with people IRL, build, and it's been so great too. Over the past few weeks, we've had iHypocrite out here. We had PNW Gorilla out here, and a lot of other people. And
amazing to meet people in real life.
Yeah, and you can really measure people in a totally different way IRL than you can online. And so, for us to win, we need to manifest into the physical world, and then not only that, but then to exert our political will in the real world. So that gap has to be bridged, and we are going to be doing more meetups, and it's going to be fun, and I can't wait. And the best part, and I've got to say again, thank you to everybody that came out on Monday evening. Everybody was such a good sport about it, and we've been able to get in touch with everybody that came after the fact. So. Whatever they were intending to do with having the police show up was such an epic fail, because one of the things that unites people together is this common enemy thing. And what do you think is going to happen when a group of people who got together to like have dinner and speak freely, exercise your First Amendment, and then you call the cops on them? You just radicalized 30 people.
I know. Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
Look, I would just add, I love sports. I love athletics. I played a lot of sports in high school.
Do you like Notre Dame?
Yeah, I played basketball. I ran track. I played soccer. I played tennis. And one of the reasons I love sports is because when you see the great teams, you see the great players. Like I love Roger Federer. He's my favorite tennis player of all time. When you see these players, and I didn't see him up close, unfortunately, I never saw one of his matches, but when you see a truly great player, when they're pushed, what happens is they hit another gear. And there's sort of a feeling. There's an anticipation that you experience when you watch it because you've seen them do it before, but it only happens unpredictably, right? Every so often. But they hit that other gear. And ladies and gentlemen, that is what is inside of white America. That is what is inside of the West. We have another gear. And I know that many of you do not believe that. But one of the reasons I love Europe is because when you go across the European continent and you see these incredible monuments, churches, memorials, statues, what you see is that collective spirit, that willpower that's manifest, particularly when me becomes we, right? And that is exactly what you're about to see. I was in Paris. I want to say a year or so ago, and when you go to Paris and you go to the Eiffel Tower, if you go up close to it, you'll see that there are 72 names etched into that monument. And the 72 names are scientists, mathematicians, engineers. This is the pantheon of all the Frenchmen that are responsible for making France a great country. That is the other gear that we have. And that gear has not kicked in yet, but it's about to.
It will, though. I mean, people are so afraid of consequences. And like, when I think about my experience online, which doesn't translate to all these people that have done really great things with their life, but I remember when I got doxxed in 2016, I did not get out of bed for like 5 days.
Oof.
I was just devastated. And then you get over it, and then you start to get really pissed off.
Yep.
And then you start to deal with it. And with every obstacle, this is how white people are. With every obstacle, the next obstacle becomes easier to conquer, and you gain more confidence in your position, and it just snowballs into this incredible confidence. Like, I am supremely confident. So when this thing happened with the police the other day, I think I tweeted this, but I was like, if I experience any minor inconvenience, I don't care how inconsequential, I will ruin all of your lives. I will fucking ruin your lives. I will go absolutely nuclear.
Nice.
And I mean it. Like, I don't want to hear it from these people. We're not going to lay down and like stop doing the show. They're never going to win.
No.
And even if they did get us kicked off, we'd just be replaced by somebody
even more radical.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. And I saw this, you just reminded me of this post that I saw earlier today from Thomas Massey. The more they go after Tucker Carlson, the more I will watch his shows. He's a cancel survivor and has the antibodies. And that's something that we have.
That's great. That's so eloquent.
We are cancel survivors, and we do have antibodies. And this is something that everybody should be gearing up for, is to become uncancelable. That's why having gold and Bitcoin and silver and owning your own business and being an entrepreneur and having your own networks and connections, that's why that's so important. Because once you have
wearing FBI hats,
and you know, it doesn't hurt. No, but that becomes so important because you do become uncancelable. And it's like, no matter what you do to me, you can't stop it. And if you get me, if you kill me, if you turn me into a Charlie Kirk, then 10 more, 100 more, 1,000 more people, even more radical and more intransient than me, are going to come up.
And more violent.
Oh, yeah. I'm.
Can you imagine 100,000 Dave Rileys? 100,000 Dave Riley.
I have long said that I am the moderate here.
Oh, yeah.
And I really believe that I am. I think Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes are the moderates, frankly. Yeah. And I think that's a good thing because if we can't have like these basic positions of just like, I don't know, I don't even support America unconditionally, and you want me to support Israel, a foreign nation, unconditionally, I feel like the moderate position here is to say, fuck off.
Yeah.
This is not Israel, this is America.
Absolutely.
So anyway,
Get your last minute super chats into the
By the way-
backlash.net/super chat.
By
Also,
the way, we are $257 away from smashing our goal.
please help us get to our goal. We are so close. Let's do some of these super chats.
Absolutely. We will start over on Entropy. Queensboro Bridge Enjoyer sent $10. Blonde. Understand that Will Stansel is out there. He can't be bargained with and he can't be reasoned with. Stansel doesn't feel pity or remorse or fear. And Will Stansel absolutely will not stop arguing on Twitter ever until you have deleted your Twitter account.
It do be like that, Mr. Stansel.
It do be like that.
My sister, Normie, texted me that the other day. I was like, what the fuck is happening? We are
Ian
having...
Miles Chiang tweeted it
Oh,
today.
yeah. We are having Emily Yukis on tentatively on the 10th. And we are having the great Keith Woods on Monday. So we're going to talk about the situation in Ireland. Thank you so much for the super chat. Please help us get to our goal. We are so close.
And we also finally heard back from the one and only Dr. Kevin McDonald, author of The Culture of Critique. We will be working with him to bring him on the show very soon. Gorilla Hands sent $10. Excuse me. Happy Halloween to my favorite goys. It's a disgrace that your First Amendment rights were violated. Rebecca, you have to put on your big girl panties and vote. Now is not the time for morals and ethics. We are at war. Cameron, you are such a tease. Post one video and then months of silence.
Yeah, buddy.
Hey, you gotta...
Well, I'm tied up because I got to do all this backlash crap, so I don't have time to do my own videos.
Cameron's channel is criminally undersubscribed. Please follow him on YouTube. He's also so shite at self-promotion.
Oh, yeah.
Cameron never talks about himself, ever.
Neo-masculinity.
Well, that's just because I can't divulge too much, because if I do, Rebecca will figure out things about me and start tweeting about me. And
I would never. I'll tell the audience a story about you today, you son of a bitch. So Cameron wanted to talk to me, and I didn't answer because I was putting my baby down for a nap. And then he said, it's women problems. And I'm like, I couldn't get my phone up fast enough. I call him and he's like, I just want to talk about the show. like you bastard. I thought he was going to confide in me and I would finally know more about Cameron McGregor. And no.
Cameron's love life.
Thought I was a beta, folks. She thought I was a beta.
No.
Boy, was she wrong.
I was thinking we've got to we could start a show, Desperate and Dateless, where we give dating advice or something.
Who, you and I?
Yeah.
Why?
Wouldn't that be funny?
I don't know
Cameron
anything.
would do a pretty good job.
No, Cameron's
it would be
life
funny
experience.
watching you two give dating advice. My advice would be golden.
Absolutely. Imperium Sniper sent $100.
Whoa,
Thank you for the big super chat. Hi, guys. I just wanted to ask you about two possible guests since you started a book club. These have two base libraries. Mafashi Bookshelf has been around for 6 years, Italian Catholic, and he's interviewed EMJ twice. You can find him on BitChute and Odyssey because YouTube banned him.
Oh.
And Interesting Books Reviewed on YouTube because he's a retired retired Texas Police Department chief.
No
Look
way.
him up and hook it up.
Interesting Books Reviewed.
No, it's Mafashi Bookshelf is the one channel, Mafashi Bookshelf, and the other one is Interesting Books Reviewed on YouTube. Imperium Sniper, thank you for the
That's so cool. I'm going to sub to him right now.
Wonderful. We will.
Oh, he's got a great beard.
We will figure it out. Oh yeah, that's the cop, right? There's so many ex-cops that watch this show too.
This wig
By the
is
way,
so heavy.
As soon as all this nonsense happened over at the Pavilion, I started getting text messages from all my cop friends, and they're like, "You got a records request this, get that. If they did X, Y, or Z, it's illegal." Blah blah blah. And I'm just like, "Bro, thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Love you. Thank you for having her back." Oscar the Grouch sent $15. At this point, it's not even Zog anymore. It's blatantly obvious that it's just Jews controlling our domestic, foreign, and monetary policy. Yeah, they've kind of gone mask off, haven't they?
Hey, look, we're about to hit it.
We're about to hit it. What are we at? Is that 9? We need another $57 through either Power Chat, Rumble, or the Backlash YouTube channel. They don't count when they go to Blonde's channel. Anyway, Gorilla Hand sent another $10. Boomers are a lost cause to our movement. Most of them are still living in the 80s and 90s. When they finally lose control over society, it'll be a different world, especially demographically different than now. It will be difficult at first, but will be better for us in the long run. Hard times make strong men.
I agree with that. I don't think the boomers are relevant. You know, I mean, look at the Trump administration. My God, man, talk about intellectually bankrupt. They have no answers for anything.
Yeah.
They don't know what to do about China. They have no clue economically. They're continuing all the wars overseas. I mean, my God, it's just, it is an egregious clown show. That's all it is. And that represents that entire generation. These people have absolutely no idea what's going on. To that point, you know, there was an interview I saw with Christopher Hitchens before he passed, and he was talking about the great ideas of the 20th century. And I think there were three. It was basically not great ideas, but the great problems. And he said that there were three, that it was imperialism, fascism, and Stalinism. Okay. And remember, Hitchens was a communist. He was a Trotskyite. But that world, which is the world that the boomers come from, that's gone, man.
Mm-hmm.
We don't live in that paradigm at all. Everything has changed.
Nice.
Thank you so much,
We got
Reinhardt.
a $57 super chat. The fire rises.
We love you, Reinhardt.
We hit the goal. High
we love
five.
you guys. All right, we did
That's
it.
like one of 3 times that we've been able to do that.
2 times.
No, this is the third.
Oh, because the Jake
The first
Shields.
one was Jake Shields.
All
The
right.
second one was your birthday, and this was today. So
This is so cool. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys so much. Rivers of Blood sent $14. Hearing the story of USAA was not surprising. I still have been stacking metals and Bitcoin, but is there a bank out there that isn't Jewed or G'd up? I won't go to bigger banks, but maybe a decent credit union. Thanks, and hope to see you one day at a meetup. So this has actually been something I've been working on behind the scenes, working on making a credit union. There's a lot of people interested in that. But right now, if you are looking for recommendations for a bank, check out Portage Bank. Let me see if I can pull it up. They are an online-only bank. Portage Bank. Let me pull it up. They're an online bank. They are not loading on my fucking screen. Here you go. Portage. They are owned by Christians. Good group of people. Highly recommend. But you can also find, credit unions in your local area.
I'll just add one tidbit here. Moody's, which, by the way, Moody's does pretty good work. They just put out a report that I have I've perused called U.S. Banks Private Credit Loan Exposure Nears $300 billion. In that report, there is some information regarding banks that have a lot of exposure to private equity. Those are banks you should not use. There's also a lot of information out there about banks that are exposed to derivatives. There's a list. I can probably give it to Dave, and he can tweet it out. If I tweet it, 5 people will read it, and it'll disappear. But if Dave tweets it, he'll get some traction.
Yes.
Stay away from the banks that are exposed to derivatives, private equity, and that's a lot of them. But that's where you begin. Start crossing banks off the list, and then that'll lead you to banks that you should use. The other thing I'll say, this is not financial advice, but this is what I have done, is diversify. So you can use a credit union, you can use a small or local bank, and you can use a big boy if you have to, a bigger bank like JP Morgan Chase, for example, and keep a minimum balance there and only use it when you have to. That way you have some degree of redundancy. And obviously, you should have some exposure to cryptocurrency, specifically Bitcoin, as we've discussed on the show many, many times. And yes, you should have on your person some exposure to precious metals, specifically gold and silver. And I would not mess about, because it's getting harder and harder to get supply.
Yep.
And I
Don't mess
suspect
about. You heard it here.
You may not be able to get physical gold and silver anymore. That could happen. So.
That could happen. And by the way, we had a very talented artist that we met with on Monday that came to our meetup. And I got this bad boy. Look at this. Can I? Oh, yeah. It is Satoshi Nakamoto slaying the Federal Reserve, which is depicted as an octopus. So
Dave is into tentacle porn. That's why.
No, what are you talking about? No, But I don't know. I may keep this. Maybe we will do some sort of Backlash giveaway.
That is so rad.
Maybe we'll do a raffle or something. I don't know.
love octopuses.
But got to support your local artists, friends. They're amazing. Okay, moving over to, we'll come back to entropy at the end. James Johnson gave $100. Thank you for the big super chat. He says, I see Coeur d'Alene Police Department is still just a bunch of pro-commie goons. You guys got to fix that place ASAP. Sue the city on civil rights and religious grounds and post a GSG, a give, send, go, to raise money for it. You know, a lot of people
have said that to me. I'm just too tired.
You can send us checks in the mail at our P.O. box. Was it 853? Hold on. I got to check again. What was the P.O. box? P.O. Box 853, Post Falls, Idaho, 83877. You can send us a check there. Hey, if we had the disposable income to hire a lawyer and start suing, we'd absolutely be there. So, and yeah, Coeur d'Alene needs a change. That's why you need to vote for the good person and not for Dan Gookin, the pro-gay P-flag freak.
What a silly name.
I just, I had a question ready to go for him.
Is that what he looks like?
That's what he looks like. Now he has an angry lesbian haircut. I don't know if you've seen his hair recently.
He looks like a thumb.
But I was going to ask him if it was both of his kids that were gay or just the one, and whether or not he touched his kids. That was my question for him. But
shit disturber over here.
I guess it's a good thing they didn't show up, because he probably wouldn't have liked that.
He has two gay kids.
I don't know if it's two or just the one, which is why I was asking the question.
No, 50-50, they got molested.
Well, he was involved with the local theater.
What was your question, Dave? How many gay kids do you have?
No, I was going to say, are both of your kids F words or just the one?
Oh my God.
Okay.
That was the pre-planned question I had in my head, but...
You're going to be diplomatic about it.
Yeah, it's been... The guy called me a white supremacist at the 4th of July parade in 2023, and he gave me the Roman salute from his car, so it's like, yeah, no, fuck this guy.
Oh, yeah.
He's a total loser. Anyway, the Shadow Band sent $10. Every episode is just Cameron looking like an exasperated father dealing with their squabbling siblings. Today, he's taking the kids trick-or-treating.
I know last week when we were signing off, I was like, Dave, are you ever afraid that you're going to accidentally call Cameron Dad?
Sorry, Dad.
Like, you ever call your teacher Mom?
I did that.
Yeah. I have. Yeah, I'm constantly worried I'm going to do with Cameron.
I've been calling,
who is like 3 years older than I am.
It's been weird because we're now at the point where I'm calling my wife Mom.
Oh,
because of, the kids.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
Things get weird when that happens. Yep.
Tomahawk sent $10. Love your show, but I never get to catch the live stream. Stay away from food trucks.
Yeah, stay away from the prairie food trucks.
Please do.
This is what we get for dipping our toes into Mexican food.
Boycott jitters.
Oh, yeah, boycott jitters.
Go to the Human Bean or Dutch Brothers, much better than Jitters. Which is owned by the local Zionists. So don't go there. Entwash Enjoyer sent $10. God bless the Backlash. Here's my meager support. But when your city is full of magic Americans and double last names, all your money goes to private school. True. Isn't it funny how the hyphenated last names is such a tell?
Yeah.
Tamara Signs Kermelis, Megan Dardis Coons.
Do you know what my husband told me? He said that if I had wanted to do that, or if I had not taken his last name, he would have just called off the wedding.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Good for him. Good for him. Smart. We need more men like that. Tomahawk sent another $10. Never get to catch the 8. Stay away from food trucks. Okay. Thank you for that again.
Thank
you. Mojack sent $20. I was such a happy child until I learned about the Jews.
Can you pull up this tweet?
Have you guys seen this? It blew up.
It wasn't huge. I didn't get like 1 million or anything like that.
Where is it?
People were so fucking mad about this.
Where is it?
It was down. Oh, there it is.
Here. Oh, 5 point. Yeah, look at that.
That's
very good engagement.
Baby blonde.
Baby blonde.
I was so happy. Look how happy I am. I'm just radiating pure joy because I don't have any experience
about the Jews.
Unfortunately, my daughter does know a little bit about the Jews.
Well, she also has a distrust for the government, right?
She does.
You sent me this video, this cute video of your, how old is she, 5?
She's 5.
Your 5-year-old and your 2-year-old?
Yeah.
And your 5-year-old was asking your 2-year-old, do you trust the government? And the 2-year-old says, no.
No. No, I don't.
You're teaching them right.
Yeah.
So thank you, Mojack. Anadrim sent $100. Hey. Thank you for the big super chat. There was nothing there. That's it. He just sent $100. You can just do things. The Winged Hussar sent $10. Those who pretended to be your friends and then talk behind your back elsewhere are not doing Christianity. Most people need to repent.
Yeah, Lucky.
And Aaron.
Yeah.
And Nina Beasley.
I don't know who that is, but...
Nina was very close. We were very close. She needs to give me my copy of the Jewish Revolutionary Spirit back. I hope she learned something from it. She used to call me up. This was the former volunteer coordinator for the Republican Party. She used to call me up and bitch about the Jews for hours on end. I had to hang up on her. Do you know how many white Christians they killed in Russia?
I know.
I'm like, yes, Nina, I'm very aware. Please hide your power. Cool it.
I will say that
you don't need to bring that up at the Central Committee
people
meeting.
that are newly red-pilled on the Jews are the most fucking annoying people on the planet. I understand because I was once there.
Yeah.
But all of us, this happened to all of us.
The red pill rage.
It's the red pill rage. It just catapults you into you're just fervently researching the Jews constantly. And then you're calling people, they're like, they're responsible for porn. Your friend that's a few years ahead is like, I'm making dinner. I can't.
By the way, we'll know that the situation in this country has changed when the CEO of OnlyFans gets thrown in jail.
Oh, yeah. Nick said that on Tucker.
Did you see, I saw a video from one of those Asian guys, James Lee, maybe? He hangs out with Ian Carroll, and he showed the difference in how profitable OnlyFans is compared to NVIDIA. And it's number one, the most profitable corporation in America.
Well,
and that's sad.
The Jewish fantasy is pimping out young goy.
Young Christian girls. That's right. That's right. We got $10 from Michael Gerard 2 on YouTube. Cameron should check out a channel called China Observer. China is collapsing, or I think China is collapsing far faster than they are telling the world. The economy and job market are in the gutter. I don't think so. Cameron?
Nope. No. I mean, I don't want to dwell on this. I'll make a video. That's what I'll do. I'll make a video addressing it. But the short of it is as follows. We are financial capitalists, which is in large measure what we talked about on the show tonight. The Chinese are industrial capitalists. In industry is real. It's real economy. It's why they have a monopoly on rare earths. It's why they have cutting edge technology across the board. They're basically dominating all of the industries that we used to, and they have the best human capital, I think, in the world right now. So no, I think it's quite the opposite. One other thing to note on this is that there are a lot of Western analysts that are evaluating China's economy the same way that they evaluate the United States. What I mean specifically by that is they're looking at a lot of capital markets and saying, okay, well, China's not this or it's not that. Look, the stock market does not equal economy. And sadly, in the United States, we don't have much economy left. And so we live and die based on stock market performance, particularly tax revenue for the government, right? If the stock market collapsed 25%, the U.S. government would go broke very, very quickly. In China, that would not happen at all. That would not be the case. And the Chinese households are not exposed to Chinese stocks the way that American households are either. So you're talking about two fundamentally different economies. And what China has done basically is they have replicated what we built between 1870 and 1970. That 100-year period, they took that template, that playbook, and they replicated it while we have atrophied.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Oh, 100%. I found the tweet, by the way. Look at this. Look at that chart. Right? Walmart, Walt Disney, Procter & Gamble, what's this one? Alphabet, NVIDIA, and OnlyFans makes $156 million per employee. The next up is NVIDIA, which makes what, $3 million per employee? But absolutely out of control. And by the way, I found this other clip.
NVIDIA is also sort of a Ponzi scheme too, right? Because they have created this supply chain for their semiconductors, and some of the vendors that are buying their semiconductors are companies that they also finance.
Oh,
and
Lord.
I'm not the only one that's talked about this. There's a lot of evidence that the entire AI boom is also a giant Ponzi scheme of circular cash.
Yeah.
And at the very least, it is a bubble. That doesn't mean it's not legitimate. It doesn't mean that it can't produce transformative results. or maybe a productivity miracle. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is it's absolutely a bubble. And I haven't seen a lot of compelling evidence, and there's growing skepticism as we speak about the actual revenue that artificial intelligence, which is supposed to be this game changer, is producing. Because so far, year to date, it's pretty disappointing.
Yeah, here's that circular economy that they've set up. I was able to find it.
Good Lord.
It's like a whole house of cards. It's not real. The whole AI thing. And I think that goes to your point earlier that you were talking about how it's all H-1Bs. They're replacing everybody with H-1Bs and then saying it's AI. It's not AI.
Right.
It's immigrants. Bro, come on. Anyway, Book Track Grooves sent $10 on Rumble. Rebecca, your homework, 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Happy All Saints Day. Happy File 95 Theses Martin Luther log.
So you guys don't know this, but Halloween is actually my favorite holiday.
Really?
Oh, really? I couldn't tell.
Are you going to dress up?
It is my favorite holiday because it goes back to my Celtic ancestors in Scotland. It was originally called Samhain, and Samhain was basically a celebration of the end of the harvest and the beginning of the dark period, the beginning of winter. And if you go back to the ancient peoples in Europe, they didn't measure years as much as they did winters, because winters were so harsh, and if you survived them, you were lucky. But anyway, Samhain, it's a Celtic holiday, and it's the Scots and the Irish that came to the United States that popularized it. That's why it became an American holiday.
Well, we're going to need to see pictures of you with like a slutty Dracula or something. I don't know.
The slutty dress thing is not my fault.
I'm kidding. Glamdring sent $10 on Rumble. I am buying $10,000 worth of gold from Atlas Bullion, which is a distressingly small amount, by the way. I got my wife and Kenzie on the phone to make sure that she knew that we were buying through them because of the backlash. Thank you. Thank you very much for the support. As you know, we do make a small commission on any sales generated through our link, atlasbullion.com/thebacklash. And yeah, it's like, what, 2.5 ounces basically that you'd be able to get with about 10 grand. Unbelievable. Michael Gerard, too, sent $10 on YouTube. Cameron is right. The extremes control history, not normies. Julius Caesar, Napoleon, Lenin, and Mao were all part of a minority who understood that might makes right, not morality, rights as in laws. Yeah, you're right. Barefoot in the Kitchen sent $10. No babies were harmed in the making of this episode, only startled. Thank you, honey.
I was
Very
texting
good.
her. I'm like, oh, is the baby okay? She's like, shut up. It's fine. Everything's fine. It's okay.
Book Track Grooves sent $14. Dave Smith was on the Crowder Show, and it seems like he and Dave Smith get on to Candace Owens. David once grilled or smoked chicken. Yeah. Well, I mean, I like crispy chicken, like a crispy chicken sandwich from McDonald's.
Then you like fried chicken.
I don't like KFC. Okay, I will be clear. I do not like Popeyes, and I do not like KFC.
Okay, no, I'm talking about like...
I've never had any other kind
like
of...
homemade... You've never fried your own chicken?
No.
I bet you $1 million your wife has.
Maybe.
Cameron, you like fried chicken, right?
I'm sure Dave's wife has fried his chicken. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I do like fried chicken. It's true.
Yeah, because you're not a monster. Or a serial or a chronic... what is the word I'm looking for? The disease you have, the mental disease.
ADD?
No, the other one.
ODD.
Yeah, oppositional defiance disorder. That's
there we
it.
go.
Oh, ADD. ODD.
I'm odd.
That's basically there's two ideas, two characters that Rebecca envisions as me. One is Patrick Bateman from American Psycho.
I do, yeah.
And the other is Fraser Crane. She thinks I'm one of these two ridiculous characters.
Bro, I used to watch Frasier when I was young.
That show was fantastic.
It was
Intravenously
horrible.
feeding caviar into my blood vessels as I listen to Beethoven's Ninth and get into my cryo chamber before bed.
Do you not do that?
That's more like Niles Crane.
There you go.
You know.
See, you should keep the mystique alive, because part of the reason we're so on track with the show and so motivated and so prepared is that Cameron manages us, and he wouldn't be as effective if we weren't so scared of him.
True. It's like the boss coming in to lay down the law.
Yeah.
It's very good. Yo, Jimbo.
Alyssa's not afraid of me. She's not afraid of me.
No, she's not. Yo, Jimbo Rockford sent $20. I think left-wing communist Jews and right-wing Zionist Jews are fighting for world dominance, and they are using Goyim as weapons against each other. Am I retarded? And if so, how and how much?
No, that's absolutely correct. You're on the money, buddy.
Yep, that's what's happening. Welcome to the conversation.
Yep.
This has been America for 50, 60, 70 years now. Jeez. IRL Con sent $10. Never charged or arrested for 9/11 or Charlottesville. Claims Stalin, the leader of Bolshevik Jews responsible for genocide of nearly 70 million Christians and Holocaust propaganda, a personal hero. I believe this was a subtweet for Nick Fuentes.
He did say that Stalin was a personal hero, and then they never got
but
into
Stalin kicked the Jews out of Russia. He wasn't the leader of the Bolshevik Revolution. That was Lenin and Trotsky. Stalin was Orthodox Christian.
He was also a Georgian. He was not Jewish. Yeah, there's a lot to that.
There's a lot to unpack there.
We should do a show on World War II. I can send you some stuff, Dave. That might make for an interesting meta.
Okay.
We should get Daryl Cooper to come down and help us because
totally.
he is
not a bad idea.
He is a luminary in this matter. And also the Charlottesville thing. I was never charged or arrested during Charlottesville.
I know a lot of people that were there.
That whole thing was a fraud. And by the way, James Fields should be freed from jail. He should get a presidential pardon.
Where's his pardon?
Yeah, I mean, getting arrested for 500 years, locked away in jail for after his car was violently attacked by Antifa terrorists, and you don't know what the accelerator or what the brake is, and then some fat lady had a heart attack.
She did.
I'm sorry. Anyway, James Cassatelli sent $10 on YouTube. The police are the standing army the forefathers warned us about and the reason they created the Second Amendment. Hear, hear. Fuck the police, defund the police. Not a fan.
Isn't it funny how
I like the sheriffs.
We're right back where we were when we were libertarian, when I was like smoking weed all the time. Like, fuck the police. And now I'm just right, not with the weed thing, but I'm right back there. Like, these people can't be trusted.
I couldn't imagine you on weed. You'd be so paranoid. Unbelievable.
Not when you do it every day for like a decade.
Ugh, don't do that.
No,
IRL Con
don't do it.
sent $10. Asterisk dehumanizes naive followers repeatedly by calling them retarded losers that should kill themselves. Similar to ChatGPT, oy vey with this gay Fed and his supporters. Okay.
Who?
He's talking about Nick Fuentes.
Oh.
All right. Danny Montana sent $10. Hi, Blonde. Been watching since Beauty and the Beta days. And this show is by far the best far-right Christian stream on the internet. A few episodes back, you guys talked about not purity spying about race in the white nationalist movement, part 1.
Did we?
Yeah, I guess.
It's because of my Asian exception.
Maybe. We need to work together. IRL Con.
Danny Montana, I remember you, and thank you for following me.
Thank you for the big super chat, Danny. IRL Con sent another subtweet. Fuentes dated Catboy, bumped into Glenn Greenwald at gay DC nightclub. Former bestie with Jew degenerate Destiny. Former bestie with Jew Zionist Laura Loomer. Former associate with Milo. Okay, well then you can turn off this show too, because I was friends with Laura Loomer and Milo for years too.
Don't turn off this show.
Don't turn off the show. I mean, whatever. Laura and I have unfollowed each other mutually, as have me and Milo.
That woman's insane.
She's crazy, dude. She does, every day that goes by, she looks more and more like
the Saw
thing. Yeah, it's real. I don't know. Reinhardt sent $25. The Fuentes Tucker interview was bland as shit, exactly as I was referencing in my last power chat. He's trying so hard to moderate and appeal to a broader audience that I worry that the actual substance will get left out entirely. Reinhardt sent a few super chats, so we're going to read them. Number 2, he sent $25. Thank you. That's 50. Nick has downplayed the importance of white racial consciousness and white preservation so much lately that it's barely mentioned at all. I understand that this is simply a strategic move by Nick, but if he leaves out the substance, then what's the point?
I think this is absolutely a valid criticism. And about Reinhardt personally, we've been friends for a long time, and he is virtually right about everything. I find that I'm always like, you're wrong, and then I come around to his perspective.
Here's the thing, though, too. Like, Hitler was all things to all people. He was everything to everyone. And I think Nick has been very solid and strong on talking about white America. I don't think that he's going to ever compromise that America first plus white people are good. I don't think he's ever going to compromise that, but there are a lot of black people in this country that have also been fucked over by the Jews. And I think that there's something to be said to strategically get them, on our side, or at least fighting against the same people, which is what was happening with.
I'm with Rebecca on this one. I don't think so. I think the issue here is, and this is not unique to Fuentes, but I think that most social media people, and I am not in this group. I don't really like social media. Rebecca and Dave know that. They want to play on the big stage, right? They want a bigger audience, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's fine, but that has nothing to do with what we're talking about, which is a movement to save this country, which is a mess. That's an altogether different thing. Now, I don't know what his true motivations are, but I do think that he's a social media person. I think that Candace Owens and the rest of these people, they want a bigger audience. And so they are willing to play ball with the mainstream in ways that I certainly would not. I don't really care what the mainstream says. To me, that's irrelevant, right, in terms of where we're headed. But I think for a lot of these people, this is a business. And I do understand that. I do. I just think that that's separate from what we're talking about on this program.
I think he has political aspirations too, which
I will be voting for him in 2036.
We'll see.
Chaotic Herpes sent $10.
I think we've had, the one thing I'll say is that we have a very poor track record in the United States of electing people on the basis of their celebrity. This is a big problem. And as I said earlier on the show, the process of becoming president has nothing to do with actually executing the duties of the office. And look no further afield than Donald Trump, who is an expert social media person, and he is clownishly stupid as president. He has no business. He doesn't know how to conduct meetings. He doesn't know how to hold summits. This must inform you folks. Just because somebody's popular on social media doesn't mean they should lead your country, okay?
True. Let's see. Vlad sent $10. AI stands for all immigrants. You make da butter chicken, deport, and no more butter chicken. We will take all brown people invention back. Do not deport. Please, sir, do not deport. LOL. That's funny. True. I did not miss your super chat, Vlad. I just read it. See? Chaotic Herpes sent $10. Blonde was right. Most people do have HSV1 herpes, which is essentially just cold sores. This is different from STD HSV2 herpes, which most black people have.
Well, 20% of people have HSV2.
This
that is
is
general
different
herpes.
from STD HSV2 herpes, which most black people have.
I think 40% of black people have HSV2, and
what?
20% of white people have HSV2.
Can you look that up on the Chat GPT?
Sure,
That's
but that is
crazy.
true. See, when you say that most people have HSV1, everyone is like, "You have herpes." I'm like, nobody should be testing for HSV1.
I don't have that.
You don't. You would not know. Most people never get an outbreak, and most people get it in childhood through non-sexual means by kissing their grandparents.
I don't have that.
67 to 90% of people have HSV1. If you've ever had a cold sore, you have herpes.
I've never had a cold sore.
It doesn't matter. You probably have it anyway, and it's just suppressed. It's not a big deal. What is the problem here?
Bill Biz sent $50.
Don't get general herpes, though.
A little contribution towards the next Backlash
Thank you.
fried chicken meetup. Yeah, maybe we should go to Texas, or is it Dave's Houston, Texas Hot Chicken or whatever? We could go there. And
Dave's Hot Chicken.
Dave's Hot Chicken. Yeah, you can all force feed me fried chicken or something. The private Telegram chat has just been, oh, look, Palmer Lucky sent me a message.
What percentage of black people have...
Oh, that's right. I have Palmer Lucky's phone number. It's funny. He's on Telegram now. That's actually him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's funny. Danny Montana sent $10. P2, I am mixed race European, Scottish and Spanish, Native American and Japanese. What is y'all's opinion on mixed race Europeans And where do they fall in the white nationalist movement? Dave, go on a tangent on Bitcoin. It's so funny watching Blonde's reaction.
No, don't do that. Listen, for better or worse, mixed race people exist. I was listening to LP the other day, and he was talking about like the fallout that his family has had about what he said about miscegenation. He's like banned from Thanksgiving now.
Oh no.
And he's like, listen, Mexican and white is like the least bad miscegenation. You can tell, you know, my family should know that if they're listening. It's the least bad. There are rankings of miscegenation. I would say the Spanish is like almost fine.
Spanish?
Yeah.
You mean from Spain?
Yeah.
They're white.
It's almost fine. All right. And then because of my Asian exclusion, I'm okay with the Japanese thing too.
I like them.
In
I have a lot
terms
of
of
Japanese friends.
Native American, that's not great, but you know, what can you do? In terms of mixed race people, that is, at least you're not black. At least you're not, but you're not Jewish, you're not black. Like, I can get over that. I mean, I wouldn't procreate with you, but you know.
I mean, this is one of those things too, where it's just like, you know, we got to save the white race. It's like, okay, well, do your part. Get married to a white woman. Like, I don't know, find someone else and make kids with them.
Okay.
And love them, and you're good.
Age-adjusted prevalence of HSV2 among adults 14 to 49 was 35% for non-Hispanic black people and 8% for white people.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So that's statistically significant.
Yeah. So Danny Montana,
It's
just don't have sex with the black
people.
women. Yeah.
It's just promiscuity.
That's true. That's so true. Reinhardt sent $50. It's only meaningful for Nick to be introduced to Tucker's audience if he also introduces his ideas to them. Most of them aren't going to bother looking into Nick any further, and they will remain ignorant to the issues that matter. Well, I mean, let's see how many people tune in. Let's see how many people continue watching Nick from Tucker's audience, and they'll see if that has a difference. Reinhardt sent $100.
Hey, Reinhardt, thank you. We love you.
My frustration with Nick stems from the fact that we simply don't have the time required for his plans to work. We need to push for real action now, band together, and apply pressure in person. Once again, I'll shill for Patriot Front. Yeah. Well,
I absolutely agree with him. I mean, I understand what you're saying about what was it, revolution versus Reformation. I understand that. I think this should be a two-pronged approach. However, we don't have time to topple the institutions. Think about how long it's taken for these bureaucracies to be built up.
Right.
The infiltration, I mean, we would have to wait a generation where everybody was on board, which they're not right now, for us to see any real change.
And this is one of the reasons why I pulled up and I posted this tweet earlier, which is zero fucking traction, which is totally fine. But these people are talking about, you know, kicking. This is the next move. This is the next move that's going to be coming down the pike. You know, and I know that the Republican Party, especially at the national level, is bankrupt. But it is a lever of power. It's basically, you know, there is no, at this point, although people want one, there is no viable third-party option. And in Idaho, we are essentially a one-party state. 70% of Idahoans are Republicans. So fighting over the levers of power, over who gets to control the Republican Party, is important. And they're going to be making plays to basically make anti-Semites, which is, of course, their definition of it, which is anybody who doesn't uncritically support Israel. Anybody who has an exception or will draw the line in the sand at, you know, they killed 2,000% more civilians than any other NATO war, right? Like, if you have any exception to the unconditional support of Israel, you're an anti-Semite, you're gone. And that's why this upcoming election in May is going to be really big, and I'll have more to say on that later. We're closing in on these super chats. Anonymous sent $10. Thank you.
I got to do mine on my channel too.
Marie Antoinette Respecter sent $14. 14 because Rebecca's outfit makes me want to save the white race.
Aw, thank you.
Aw, thank you for the super chat. Mojack sent $10. I'm making fried chicken with grape Fanta for the chimpocalypse. But I don't live by bonnet shiboons. What's a bonnet
I don't
shiboon?
live by bonnet shiboons. It's black women wearing a bonnet.
Oh.
He doesn't like physically live near them.
You don't live near them. Well, that's good.
Okay.
They are fucking
I could get behind some grape soda. That sounds kind of nice.
cream soda. Book Track Groove sent $10. Dave, you better be able to do 10 pull-ups. What Catholic and Protestant pod show do you guys listen to? Get out there, ladies and gentlemen.
Corey Mahler.
I haven't listened to Stone Choir in a while.
Oh, yeah. Stone Choir is great.
They were doing a piece on the Septuagint that was very good.
The Septuagint.
Yeah, Catholic podcaster, Stephen Cokes. I've got to give a big shout out to Stephen Cokes. He's doing really good stuff over at Cokes News.
Apocalypse.
Cox News. Sorry, Stephen Cox. I just don't like the way that sounds. But Stephen Cox, I think it's called Church and State over on YouTube. That's a very good show. And then another friend of mine, Matt Gaspers, is doing Vox Catholica or something like that. I don't know what it's called. Vox Veritatis is the name of his channel. He's also very good. I like him. Robert sent $25. Blonde, you look hilarious. Dave, I didn't think you were one of those guys who wears their usual work clothes to the office on Halloween. Lame. But the third host takes the cake. I haven't seen him smile or blink for 2 hours. It's the stuff of nightmares.
No. He cracks a smile every once in a while.
That's funny. Reinhardt sent $200.
What?
Bro,
stop sending us money.
I'm serious. Join Patriot Front, and you'll get to hang out with me.
Dude, Reinhardt's the coolest. I've hung out with him.
He did just join Patriot Front, so
yeah,
God bless him.
He's the coolest. If you are behind the scenes and you have an opportunity to hang out with Reinhardt and his wife, they are the fucking coolest people I've ever met in my life.
Nice. Do it. Reinhardt sent $57. The fire rises, lightning bolts. Thank you. And I think that's what brings us up to the actual
Okay, let's do some supers on my
No. I've got 3 more. Episode 88 noticer sent $14. Yo, episode 88. Vlad sent $10. AI stands for all immigrants. Oh, I already read that. And then Barefoot in the Kitchen sent $10. Beef is better than chicken. Chicken is basically a vegetable.
Yeah, okay. I can get behind her on that.
Yeah. Beef. I eat steak. I like chicken fried steak.
How can you like chicken fried? Whatever. I can't with you. I can't. I can't do it.
It's okay.
It's so illogical. Can I read some of these?
Yes.
Let's see. Let's start at the beginning. Orwell's goon. Please sue them for harassment. Press charges against them for filing a false report. Get a lawyer. Put them through the system. You don't have to live like this. Confront them at city council. What they did was legal.
I think
it was totally.
Well, they lied about us.
Yeah. But you could ask somebody to remove them from private property for virtually any reason. So yeah. I don't think we're going to have a leg to stand on there. Rodney Sheehan says, with love from Rhode Island. Thank you, Rodney. Really appreciate it. OJ Simpson, a big donation from Mr. OJ Simpson. I know you did it. It was not your son. We're making our lists. We're checking them twice. Patriots get paid in Bitcoin when they put the traitors on ice.
Based.
Says George Washington on the Christmas boat, probably. Thank you, OJ. Person, blonde. You say we collectively shouldn't respect rules because leftists will not respect and play by the rules, but then you won't vote when other women are voting. At least vote with your husband. Okay, that's a fine point.
Don't vote with your husband. I'll tell you who to vote for.
It's not. No, my husband will tell me the right person to vote for. And if he found out that I was voting based on another man's political opinion, he would beat me to death. And that is the appropriate reaction.
Based.
Totally based. Yeah.
Based. With a frying pan.
Yeah, totally. With the cast iron.
With the cast iron pan. Yeah.
The other thing is that I just don't believe in political solutions. Like I just really don't.
Right.
Look at our local government infiltrated with a bunch of Zionist hag stooges.
Yeah, but it's much more of a mixed bag than that. I mean, I think you might be getting it wrong. I could walk you through it privately. I've got a whiteboard. I know who all the people are.
Don't make me listen to you more.
Not, what I'm saying is it's not a lost cause. I'll do a special video on it on my own.
I will watch it. Ray Finkel says, let the snapping begin. I like that. Chimpacalypse.
Chimpacalypse.
After this, I'm going to tweet, let them eat wangs, #Chimpacalypse, #snapping.
We can just clip that.
Okay. Yeah. Let's clip it. Thank you.
Snapocalypse is good. EBT-pocalypse.
EBT-pocalypse, I like that one. Jay Fox just does a little Seagull. Thank you, buddy. Recovering man. No real Italian would stand for chicken and pasta. Dave is not a real Italian. Please, he's going to start talking like an Italian. Fed confirmed. On a serious note, put any provocative meetups behind a paywall. Meetups at known supportive places can be public/free. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's people in the area that own very fine establishments, many of them in Sandpoint and Coeur d'Alene and Spokane.
You know they're letting trannies at the YMCA in Sandpoint?
Ooh.
Yep. Dovetail says, thanks for keeping up the fight. Thank you. We wouldn't be able to do it without viewer support. I'm going to reload this. Let's do our quick 2 ads and get out of here.
But we're not done yet because we got $150 from Penelope Maynard on Entropy. Greetings.
Is it really Penelope Maynard?
I don't know. I think it might be. Thank you for the big super chat, Penelope. We do appreciate it. And then also,
thank you, Penelope. I love your work.
We absolutely cannot forget the Bitcoin super chats that we've got through our proprietary Bitcoin super chat platform. First one is $14 from Anonymous. It says, "Hey Dave, nice inbound liquidity you got there. Oh wait, never mind. I guess I imagined it. Yeah, we're working on getting a Nostr hookup for it. Don't worry, we'll have it settled." Anonymous sent $88.88. Dave is single-handedly responsible for 32% of the size of the blockchain. True.
Even I understood that one.
Literally anything sent $10 with Bitcoin. Wait, it's not spelled Quarter Lane? Quarterlane.
Have you heard the way I Hypocrite says it? He's like, Coeur d'Alene.
Coeur d'Alene.
Fucking Canadians.
Coeur d'Alene.
That's how we all say it here.
Which doesn't even make any
Coeur
sense.
d'Alene.
Robert of Fixham sent $17.76. Given the recent interruption of taco consumption, what is your guys' go-to meat for a burrito? I've been making smoked brisket burritos lately, and it's been pretty great. Why does Rebecca have a beehive on her head? Is this a Village People bit?
Oh, Miranda. What's our go-to for burritos? Carnitas.
Carnitas, steak in the burritos, and then the second would be al pastor.
Oh, yeah.
That's
and then
very
I
good.
just like onions and salsa. That's it.
I'm not a fan of the birria burritos.
Yeah. Okay.
It's too sloppy. It gets in your beard.
Do you know what the worst burrito is? The California burrito. French fries have no place on a burrito. That's just.
I disagree.
You're fired.
Heresy.
Yeah.
I used to live in San Diego, man. We would get California burritos all the time.
See, I would actually associate that more with Pittsburgh, because in Pittsburgh they put French fries on your sandwiches. They put French fries in the salad.
No one in this country would associate that with Pittsburgh.
Why not? It's a
the
Pittsburgh
California
thing.
burrito is a San Diego creation.
Clearly, from
I don't know
people,
if it's still there, but if you want a California burrito, go to Los Panchitos. It used to be downtown. I don't know if it's still there, but
Los Panchitos. Yeah, I don't
Los
know.
Panchitos.
Not Anon sent $49. Air horns are Negro coded.
Yeah, really. You should have heard my high school graduation.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
That's funny. And with that, we are up to date on Super Chats. Thank you very much to everybody.
Thank you so much.
chatted.
We appreciate it so much.
We have to give a
Thank
big
you.
shout out to our sponsor, Antelope Hill, who is fighting to keep history alive amidst a regime of anti-white censorship. They are America's leading publisher of dissident, radical, and right-wing researchers, philosophers, polemicists, and writers. They have an eclectic catalog that includes veteran right-wing authors and academics like Kerry Bolton, Dr. Ricardo Duchesne, and Paul Kersey, as well as newer figures like Lord Miles Routledge of Afghanistan, Josh Neal, and Christian Secor. In addition to a long list of original translations or modern reprints of otherwise inaccessible historical works from eras such as fascist Italy, National Socialist Germany, and even medieval Europe. Their original works include groundbreaking investigations into the causes and funding behind transgenderism and the opioid crisis, books on Christian nationalism and American folktales, and additionally, Antelope Hill contributes to the regeneration of our culture and rebirth of our family values through their top-quality fiction, including books like Let Them Look West and World Separated, a collection of beautifully illustrated and wholesome children's books, too. Whatever your interest is, you're bound to find books that you'll like at Antelope Hill, all professionally published, with cover art that will grace your bookshelves. So help us and help our people by checking out companies that share our values and work to preserve the birthright of our history. Visit Antelope Hill Publishing today and buy a copy of The Culture of Critique by Kevin MacDonald. It's very important that you do that. We've also got to give a huge, mega, massive shout out to Idaho Tallow Company. If you're sick and tired of damn it. If you're tired of skincare packed with chemicals you can't pronounce, at North Idaho Tallow Company, we keep it simple with grass-fed tallow, time-tested ingredients, and zero junk. Our soaps, balms, and lip balm are packed with bioavailable nutrients that your skin actually needs. No fillers, no endocrine disruptors, just rugged, reliable skincare that works. Ditch the synthetic garbage and switch to North Idaho Tallow Company. Get yours at idahotallow.com. And they've got some new scents that are coming out very soon. Fireside Forest.
I've smelled it. It's totally bomb.
Pumpkin spice.
Also bomb.
Oh, my favorite is still sandalwood, frankincense, and vanilla. But don't forget, they have a Soap of the Month club you can sign up for and get soap sent to you on a monthly basis. You never need to go shopping for soap again.
Thank you so much for helping us reach and surpass our goal for our super chats. We appreciate you for keeping the show alive. This is The Backlash. Find all of our links on thebacklash.net and follow us on Twitter, on X, at Real Backlash. We'll see you on Monday with Mr. Keith Woods. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Oh, I did not mean...